Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Taco Tuesday time. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern time on Taco Tuesday. Welcome everybody. Hey, USA Truck got sold. Is every company going to be sold in the next 2 weeks? Holy mackerel. They're going to go private. Oh yes, private. Cabless, driverless trucks in Tennessee. Did you see these pod truck things? It's crazy looking. No driver in it. No cab for a driver. No controls. No nothing. On the roads coming this year. AB5's on hold right now for those of you that are concerned about that. The Supreme Court just came out with what they're going to do the rest of this session here, and it's not on the list. So currently on hold. Arion T. Do you have one of these Arion T ELDs in your truck? Well, if your company is using that company, it's no longer compliant. And as of August 24th, you will be put out of service if you're using it. Spot van rates hit a 22-month low, and this is a problem for everybody that went out and bought a truck if they're running on the spot van rate. Contracted freight now is almost double what spot van rate is holding on the market right now. Interesting, isn't it, when you have contracted freight? We have fuel and a bunch of other stuff that's going on and all that kind of stuff and all that jazz, as the king would say, right? So let's see what's happening out there. You know, the Jazz King, whoever that might be. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure there is one. So where'd this go? Let's get this over here. I had, let's see, Million Miler was first the other day, followed by Handsome Poochie. All right. And today was George H.W. Bush, followed by Trucker Hershey. So thank you very much for that, for popping in early. All right. So Kevin is also here today. I am finishing up my Wiener. You can't do too much with it. You got to fluff it up sometimes. Steel Horse, what's going on? The person who microwaves cats. So Stan Dodge, still the most amazing picture I've ever seen. Hello there. So Joan Harper, what's going on? Living the life for sure. That is absolutely true. Flat Highway, hello there. Gracie, I wish she was out here. She's not here today. Gigi, she's not in the room today. I don't know where she went off to. Is here. Brian Fuller, Epstein, yes, Epstein, of course not. John Emmel is here. So be nice to box truck drivers today. Werner didn't notice that. Yeah, Werner's in the news too. They got a lawsuit. So class action. What a surprise that is. John Zaplack is here. The grumpy trucker, hello. John M. Oh, and happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. All right. 23 years old today. John M. Hello there. Where am I going here? Oh, let's see here. Chad Gaston is here. Brian Callahan, are you still buying Shiba Inu? Yeah, I have about 8 million of them right now, and they're super cheap. So that's where I'm at with them. Not a lot, but you know, if they went to $1 or whatever, I think you got a good deal. You know, look, if they went to a penny, I'd be in really good shape. So yeah, we're just gonna hold them forever. They're not worth much right now, but hey, so you're hardly out anything. Hey, Mark and Gracie, Scott Real, yeah. She crunching? I don't know where she went off to. I'll tell her whenever she wakes up, which who knows when that'll be for a cat. Bradley Boardman, Big Red from GP is in the house. All right, what's going on up there? Up at the HQ, Grafton is here today. Currently watching the Casey Shower. Joe, what's Casey Shower? Kelly Patterson, the salsa is red and yellow habanero base. Oh, very fancy. Andrew Hurricane, down goes Freemiller. Yes. I was just about to sign the dotted line last month. Reconsidered sticking it out at Schneider till Knight in Shining Armor arrives. Well, you know, it's one of those things. Will there be a problem at Freemiller? Who knows? But, you know, they're bought by a place and you're the only trucking company there and you're in with a bunch of other things. So, you know, who knows? Find a place where there's 9 trucks or whatever, a small place. I don't know. Wouldn't it be smarter to use a reefer unit if you're going to smuggle immigrants, Brian? Yeah, you know, sometimes they have reefers and they die in there too, and he's probably referring to this case where 46 immigrants, as they call them, illegal aliens, as I call them, were found dead in a semi-trailer on the side of the road at San Antonio. Here's what I don't understand. Look, and I think everybody that's here illegally should go back to their country and be sent back immediately. But if you're going to smuggle somebody, why leave them to die in a trailer? Can't you open the door? I mean, there's still people, right? There's people. So why bring them? Then just drop the trailer off and leave. Maybe there should only be payment after everybody's alive or something. I don't know. And if you're going to bring somebody, leave the reefer running at 75 degrees or whatever so people don't die in there. I just don't understand it. And that person, of course, should go to jail for murder, and everybody that lived through it gets sent back to their country. Can you make a dedicated video with Gracie? I don't know if she could stay awake long enough for a dedicated video. She's been in a couple of videos when she has wandered by the studio there. Al Johns is here today. Hey, what's happening down there? Alex M. Greetings, Mark. Leaving Dallas to Vandalia. Oh, nice. City of Onions. Mind staying live for 9 hours to keep me entertained? Yeah. Is that about how far it is? That's pretty good. Yeah, we'll do onions all the way. Because everybody, I don't know if you know this, in the Vandalia rest area there when you go into town there, free onions for everybody. Joe just talked about the Iowa driver that got caught with the illegals in his trailer in San Antonio, and another one, 46 dead. I didn't know about a guy from Iowa. Heat trapped in a trailer. Yes. Apparently it pays good, and to end this, we have to end companies that hire people that are illegal. Nobody would come here if they couldn't do anything. As soon as you come, you're deported. The second time, you're jailed. Okay, it's simple as that. And any company found with illegals working there should be closed. It's simple as that. And the executives of the company go to jail. So I think that's how you end it pretty quickly. Cats know how to doze, John. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be a problem. Wherever they are, boom, they're out. And it's always right in the middle of everything, in the middle of the hallway or whatever they're doing. Dark 688, good morning, Mark. Hot and sunny in Spokane. Oh, I guess we're going to have a summer after all. Well, it's up and down here. It's only 70-something today here, high 70s. We're going to get 90 again later this week. We'll go to 100 degrees like it was a week ago, and then we get 70 degrees and 52 degrees during the at night. I don't understand it. I wish they'd figure out this global cooling, warming thing. George Wilson, hi, everyone. Just finished my Octavius treatment. Alexandria Brothers, Elk Grove, Illinois. What is that? That sounds, I don't know what that is. Perhaps the load was refused. Oh, yeah. They went to deliver it and they refused the load and you have to take it back. That's interesting. I still think you should either let the people out or you shouldn't bring them, right? But you cannot leave people locked in a trailer. That's just inhuman to do to people. Robert. I'd rather the people were let out here and became illegal in this country than killed in a trailer. I don't want to see people killed for it. Good afternoon from North Carolina. Well, good afternoon, the home of the Blind Cat Rescue. Al Johns, Kolachkis are my new roller wieners. Called them pigs in a blanket. Yes, pigs in a blanket. Did have a lot of those growing up. And porcupine balls, which is what my mom called them, which were kind of meat with rice. And when the rice would cook in the meat, like little meatballs, it poked all out of the meatballs. And she called them porcupine balls because I'm not really a huge cabbage fan. So I would get a separate pot of those made. And she made them in like tomato sauce kind of stuff. So in tomato sauce, the cabbage ones were in there, but then I'd get a separate one made for me because I didn't really like cabbage. It would stink the whole house up. So great. Come home from school and you knew, guess we're having, Kolachkis, right? Pigs in a blanket because there you go. Because the house stinks. Nice idea, but it isn't happening. Yeah, I know. Because those are the people that pay off all the politicians. But that would solve the problem. That certainly solves it. Here, Indiana Packers would close. Here in Delphi, they forever get busted for having illegal people there, and then they just go hire more illegals. What should happen is the whole place gets closed, and the people that run Indiana Packers go to jail. That's how it works. And then, guess what? No business, and then nobody comes. We work on the supply side, right? This is the demand side. No onions on me, P&G load, drop and hook, and I'm out 15, 30 minutes. That's pretty good. Pretty good. You can restock the shelves of all the paper products that are not there, it seems like. And then bring peanut butter. Dark 688 heads up about reporting the perverse sexually explicit programming in my autistic son's Dynavox. Oh, right. That's right. It was ignored by the local news and the autism organization. Really? It seems like if anybody would pick it up, the organization would. And the news loves this kind of thing. Send it to all the news stations in the country. I mean, with the internet, just start sending it out to everybody. Somebody will pick it up and make your own videos about it too. Do these TikTok videos about it. That seems to be the popular thing that goes viral pretty quickly. It has nothing to do with global. It seems like the shorter it is, the better it is. It has nothing to do with global warming or cooling. It's geoengineering the weather warfare. Oh, those all the lines in the sky, right? Oh, that I come out of the planes. I can't think of what they're called right now. I left the negative review to the speech therapy clinic that issued my son the tablet and attached screenshots. They dismissed this all out of hand. Oh, yeah, they go, this just a disgruntled person. Yeah, you'll just have to keep at it. But now it's much harder easier than it was, right? You can contact basically all the news all over the country pretty easily by just sitting down and say, hey, whatever what are all the news stations? Somebody will pick it up somewhere that has some kind of clout. Midwest have handballs. Can't stand them. I never had handballs. And it was porcupine balls and pigs in a blanket, which was where they were wrapped in cabbage then. I never had a handball. What do you like? Get a melon baller and scoop out the ham with it or something? I can't imagine how that was. David, passed my sleep study. Now I got an endorsement for sleep. They go, here's your endorsement. They put an S on there now. Is it true the manhole does not allow wieners into tacos? Well, that one had kind of a wiener in it. So, there's just, they only serve wieners there. Just never any tacos around. That's always the problem. Trucker Todd's on YouTube. All right, that's a good name. Hello, everyone. Hey, what's happening? John, when I came home, the house sounded like the vacuum cleaner. Why? What's going on? Chemtrails, that was it. Right. Heard about those even as a kid, that those were a problem. So, hot engine exhaust meaning cold air, plus all the stuff they put in there, right? That filter's on the way down. If we don't fill out an I-9 for new folks, we can't hire them. But temp agencies, that's up to them. It's the law, but I don't know how they do it. Yeah, well, people use fake names or whatever. That's true. The temp agency's supposed to do the I-9, certainly like everybody else. And to me, then we would just take the temp agency and close it, and they go to jail. It'd be pretty simple. I mean, that is an easy way to do it. It is the law, so there should be some kind of punishment for it. I'm a 90% disabled veteran. When I went to the Man Grandstaff VA Medical Center in Spokane, I saw a gay pride flag flying under the United States flag. Yeah, it shouldn't be on its own pole, and it shouldn't be flying there, period, of course. And this is why the next war we're going to lose, all right, because everybody's just going to laugh us out of there and use the wrong pronouns, and everybody in our armed forces are going to have to go into a safe space. I think it's ridiculous, okay? That kind of thing is ridiculous. So hopefully you went in there and said something to them. I should go by the VA Center here. There's one in West Lafayette. I wonder if they are flying a flag here. When are we going to start getting extra per diem? Well, your company can pay you per diem right now if you're a company driver. They talked about a $7,500 tax credit, which I talked about on the wildly popular live show last week. And it hasn't passed or anything yet. But if it does, you'll get a $7,500 tax credit for 2 years, each year for 2 years. For company drivers, $10,000 if you're just starting to drive. When they go back to per diem, I don't know about that. Companies can pay it to you, so ask your company to pay you. Whatever it is this year, it's a lot, 62 cents or something they allow now. They allow quite a bit. My truck has been in the shop for 5 weeks. I'm hoping to get it back this afternoon. Luke, wow, that's crazy. 5 weeks. We just can't get parts for it. Of course, in like a couple of months there, when I switched over, I only had my truck for like 7 days out of 7 weeks. I just couldn't keep the thing running for more than 5 minutes. Good to have you back, Mark. Retro Maniac. Well, thank you very much. It's good to be back here on Tuesdays. Tuesday, just as good as Monday. Just a little bit different food. Oh, this driver, so he goes in. Did you see this? This guy goes into a Sunoco station. He steals the cash register and then goes and sits in his truck with the cash register. They call the police. They go out there and arrest this guy. I mean, he could almost make the podcast for why we don't live on Mars. What are we doing? Now, they're doing drug tests and stuff on him. That's what I got to think. Some kind of drug test problem. Who goes into a Sunoco station, which had truck parking, I guess, steals a cash register, and then just goes sits in their truck? What, is he counting the money or something, or using it as a knick-knack for the sleeper? I don't understand it. Of course, even though it's not trucking related, that person got shot at that Subway sandwich shop for not putting enough mayonnaise on somebody's sandwich. The guy pulls out a gun and shoots him. I don't even know what to say anymore. Are you still not a fan of internationals? No, I'm not a fan of internationals. Had one of those new LT models or whatever. Everybody said, oh, what do you get in one of these? I didn't like that one either. So they're still going to have to make another one to impress me. Not a fan of them at all. Apparently, Brandon authorized the flying of the gay pride flag on the same flagpoles, the American state flags, in front of government offices. Right. And I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, this would not have been a problem years ago. Certainly, I've always understood the flag to be on its own pole or one level. So you could have the U.S. flag and the state flag as long as the U.S. flag is on top. But that's it. You don't go more than one level down with the United States flag. Any other flag has to get its own pole and be flown lower. And look, let's be honest, the gay pride flag is not really a flag that should be flown in front of a government building, all right? We can have a state flag there, like here I suppose there'll be the Indiana state flag in front of the Veterans Home, and the U.S. flag, and that should be it. That's all that goes out there. We don't make, character statements or statements of things like that outside of a government building. It shouldn't be the government to project a point of view, which is what the courts have always held, even though, and I have to get it, I didn't get it here. There it is. All right, I'm not an attorney. All right, but they shouldn't have a point of view on anything. Let's see. It was an issue with the DEF system and it needed an alignment. Oh, yeah, you can't get those DEF things. We get those trucks go down. We could go down for a DEF sensor. You figure, I'm just never going to see the truck again because they just can't get them. Supreme Court will overturn per diem. Really? I don't know that it's a Supreme Court issue. Companies have been paying it for some time. Yeah, Kelly, my company pays $66 a day per day. Right? It's a lot. I thought it was $62, so $66. So if you can get your company to pay it, you can get per diem in a significant amount. That's, well, I don't know what the public school. So 66 times 7 is $667 a week. So that's a lot. John M. Mark Duke was counting the money so you could see how much fuel to get. Maybe that's it. Of course, nobody buys anything with money. But yeah, it's like, wow, how much am I going to get? 8 gallons, 10 gallons? You can't go in like you used to the gas station with $3, which I did with my Buick Electra Estate wagon years ago. Can't go in there with a $3 and think you're going to go anywhere. That's a half a gallon of gas now. Scott Jockey, hey, Kelly, who do you work for paying that kind of per diem? Scott, old boy never heard Kenny Rogers say you never count your money while sitting at the table. That's right. That's right. Maybe they could put the U.S. flag on a rainbow pole, John. Yeah, I just don't understand it. There's no pride in the flag anymore. I still go back to Reagan, who wouldn't even go in the Oval Office without a suit on because he said it diminished, the importance of where he was. And now I don't even know what to say. Is New Legends Transportation? New Legends Transportation. What is New Legends Transportation? I'm definitely going to try the news outlets. Yeah, bigger and smaller. Pick up some smaller thing because all you need to do is get in a small place and they put it on the wire and then it goes out. Try to expose what I discovered on my special needs son communications tablet. God knows how many other tablets are out there. Look, start a page or whatever. Ask people to contact you. Because you'd be surprised how many people probably do find this and are like, I wonder if this is anywhere else. And once a few of you get together, that's how you make some change. They fly the Texas flag at the same height as the American flag, but it's on its own pole. And I personally think it should be lower. It should be lower. The American flag should be prominent and higher. Is a 5-cent cut worth it for a dedicated route? Retro. That depends on you, right? How much do you want? How bad do you want a dedicated route? And where does that put you in money? To me, I'd rather have a dedicated route and make less money because I don't like to not know where I'm going every day. But that depends. A lot of people don't like it. They just do not like doing the same thing every day. So you have to decide, can I do the same thing every day? For me, yes, because I get to know everybody. You walk in and they're like, hey, Mark, it's Mark. So that kind of thing. But not everybody wants that. I think it solves a lot of problems like parking and all that stuff too. Fisher Brown, hi Mark. Hey, what's happening? Alex M., after watching you here forever, finally caught your podcast. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're hilarious. I appreciate that too. Love the comment where you said Prime drivers Prime drive too slow and didn't make the top 20. They dropped to 22. Yeah, you just don't know what I'm going to say on the podcast. A lot of stuff that I want to say, I can't really say here on YouTube. So we go into a lot more on the podcast, we meaning me, because it's one way, I guess. So check out the podcast and we'll talk about a lot more things, more than just trucking too. There's some automotive news always. And on the unabridged versions, we do a reason why we don't live on Mars yet. So there's a lot of reasons why we don't live there. And we go over one on most podcasts. We're getting close to 100 podcasts. So get in while the getting's good. Because after 100, the price increases on the podcast. So the veteran suggested cutting the gay pride flag down and burning it in front of the VA. But we know the result of that be. Oh, of course. It'd be labeled, right? Oh, you're horrible. Why can't you just be respectful? I'm like, the flag has no point or place on a government building. That's why. You fly it on your own house, no problem. Got no problem with it. Stick it on your car. Paint your car rainbow colors, no problem. Government, no. Government shouldn't have a point of view of things. Kelly, it's $462 a week based on 7-day week, and I usually run 7 days a week. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? $460 a week, slap back on your check without taxes. Not bad. Not bad. But you can't take it yourself. That's the thing. So right now, the only way to get it is to get your company to pay it like that on your check. Burn the gay pride flag, trucker freedom, and the American flag always on top. Agree. Or higher if it's on its own pole. Canada has a North American flag. Where's the North American flag? The UN flag? There's no really North American flag that I've seen. Moises is last in today. TYV. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for replying to my brother's email. We just got a CDL around 2 months ago, and he was looking for a job and a good company to start with. Well, you're quite welcome. I hope I can help people. So anybody is always welcome to write in and try to get back to everybody as fast as I can. So you're quite welcome. This is a PG-rated show, sometimes PG-13, sometimes. But there's some things that you can say and then some things that you really can't say because censors or whatever. And, YouTube can shut your whole channel down or whatever, which is true. They can just take you off like that, right? So when you own the podcast, though, that's different. Look at Joe Rogan, right? That show would never fly in a lot of other places. So you can say more things there. So I get to say more things. There are a lot of trucking and some not trucking. Same as the guy who robbed his own bank then deposited stolen money into his bank account. The Braille drive-thru. Yeah, look, you've been to a drive-thru ATM. There's Braille on it. I'm like, because I had to go to the ATM, which I hadn't been to in a long time, because Meyer, a couple of weeks ago, was having some kind of problem, and it was because it was in the news, where they couldn't process cards, debit or credit cards, of any kind. So it was going to be, so I thought, all right, well, before I go to Meyer, I'll just hit the ATM and get the money and just cash it out, right? Cash me outside, right? I go there and there's Braille on the ATM. I'm like, who's driving here that's blind? Is Stevie Wonder? I got to go to the ATM, and he drives out to the ATM. He's trying to feel the buttons. I can't feel them. I mean, what the heck? Why is there Braille on the ATM? And there was a guy, we did this on the show, who robbed a bank, right, and then went outside to the ATM and deposited the money into his account, and that's where the police busted him because he hit the little police button when he's robbing the bank because he had an account at that Wells Fargo bank. Brilliant. And you wonder why we don't live on Mars. I'm surprised we're still alive here. Moises, last time I was able to catch your podcast was when I was working with Dart Transit, and I'm with JJ Keller, Loving Life. That's awesome. You can always get the podcast by just downloading your favorite podcasting app and subscribing, and then when it comes out, it'll just download. That's how I do podcasts, and that's how I assume a lot of podcasts work. Any podcast you subscribe to, I just have it automatically check on Wi-Fi, and then it comes down. There should be one tomorrow, and it will be another unabridged version. Stan, were you checking yourself out at the store? I saw Subway has a touchscreen in the drive-thru now. Oh, no. No. I have to check myself out most Sunday mornings, aggravatingly, because there's no cashiers. So you'd have no choice. And I didn't see Subway as a touchscreen at the drive-thru. That's pretty good. So if you saw McDonald's now they're not actually taking orders, not at all of them, but some McDonald's do not take your order. You are actually talking to somebody in a call center taking your order, and they send it to the store before you get there. That's how quick it is, and that is true. And White Castle is using your license plate in their drive-thrus to anticipate what you want to order and suggest it to you. So it knows what you order, looks at your plate, and then when you come back, it's like, oh, this guy's fat. He's going to order 600 hamburgers. So they probably hit the red lights when you drive through there or whatever, and they start cranking up the fries or whatever. Old school, new school. Is that all the ADA fecal matter that requires Braille to be everywhere? Yeah, right. Some of it, though, kind of stupid, right? Okay, I get a curb cut. Those are convenient. People in a wheelchair. But do we really need Braille at the ATM where you drive up to it? This is my bank here is a drive-up ATM. Okay, I'm at Old National Bank, which has been a number of different banks over the years. The ATM is drive-up only. You can't walk there. It's not like somebody's dog is dragging them over there. How does the dog know where the ATM is? So it's drive-up only. So who's driving there that needs Braille? And I know somebody's going to write to me, Mark, I'm legally blind. Okay, you're probably not driving. And the bus doesn't drop you off there. John, where's a good website to learn more about the per diem? because I'm pretty sure when I go to my dispatcher, he's going to say, what are you talking about? Well, he should know about per diem, and the company has to change it in their pay system. You can just look per diem up there, and they can give you any amount up to the legal amount. Some companies do a flat amount, and some of them do per mile up to a certain amount. So, and they can and it just pays you back. It just depends on the company. The dispatcher, go to payroll. They should, or accounting, if it's that big of a place, they should know about it. Fu Man Poo. Let's see. Soon we'll all be Taliban. Let's hope not. Currently, Crete orientation. So far, very impressed. One. All right. Let me know how that goes. I know a number of people have gone to Crete and like it there. So today's secret word is podcast. Check out the podcast. Soon to be 100 episodes. The ATM Braille is for El Presidente. I just never understood it. I'm looking at all the buttons. They all have the little dots on them, and then there's a Braille thing, and I'm like, really? Somebody drove here? Is that why it's all banged up on the side of the building for all the blind people driving up to it? The state flag should be higher than the U.S. flag. The state is supposed to be sovereign. Well, okay, I see what you're saying, right. I'm saying there shouldn't be any flag that's not a flag flying. How about that? Now the drive-thrus at various places are doing only DoorDash and Grubhub. It's happening everywhere. Yeah, that's crazy. Papa John's went to that, I don't know, months ago, and we stopped getting it because it takes forever to get here. It's Mr. Plow. Did anybody ask where you work yet? No, they didn't, and thank you very much for that. The thing is, I don't really say where I work because besides YouTube, they can come and censor your videos too by saying take that down or you're fired or that kind of thing. So I don't really recommend people do videos about where they work, although some people do it. And I also don't recruit for them, although you could, and they have a good recruiting bonus. I'm not doing that. Let them go get their own drivers. That's what they pay people there to do. So if that was such a good place, they wouldn't have to have a big recruiting bonus. That's what I think. The Taliban should be force-fed pork. Pork, delicious. Maybe it could be Pork Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Luke, I'm not looking forward to moving all my stuff to the other truck. I hate moving trucks. It's almost bad as moving a house. Oh, yeah, it's super aggravating. On the road, and they go, oh, well, you can just use this truck for a few days. Like, I got to take all my stuff with me. I can't just use the truck and just sleep on a blank mattress or whatever. So that's why I don't understand people wanting a new truck every year. Even every year, it's super aggravating. Keep the truck for a while. Wendy's or McDonald's? Wendy's, of course. Square hamburgers and a Frosty. Oh, my gosh. Dip the fries in the Frosty. I'm sure everybody does that. George Costanza. I fell off the top load to Home Depot in South Windsor. Broke my left wrist. Really? But I have a student who could do the lifting. Routing me back to Tulsa for exam. Really? Well, that's certainly workman's comp. I hope they're taking care of that. Wow. Where is the teal truck when you need one? Yeah, they're never around. The only place we can see them is right here on this picture. I've never seen them in person. Even when I went there, they wouldn't let me look at the teal trucks. They're like, you don't look back there. Nowadays, it feels like you came out and announced you were practicing necrophiliac that dabbles in bestiality. Yikes. You would be celebrated for being so brave. Yes. Maybe AOC would do a photo with you, except she died on January 6th. So that's what she said. So that was terrible for her. But yes, she probably would. You would be brave then. The weirder you are, the more brave you are for saying it. And I don't know. I don't understand it, right? Why you can't just live a normal life like everybody else. How about that? I don't go out announcing that I'm like everybody else out here, right? Same logic that McDonald's has, so I don't know about that, I guess. They have a written sign saying that they have picture and Braille menus. They do say that, right? Braille menus are available. Just ask. If you can't see or read, what good does that sign do? And how did you get there? Let me ask you. Well, I guess here may be different. In the city, maybe you could walk to one. How would you get to a McDonald's? Like here, you'd have to cross several major intersections. And what do you tell the dog to take you to McDonald's? How does the dog know how to get there? Hey, Spot, let's go to McDonald's. And the dog's like saying, okay, but you can't see the dog, so you don't even know where the dog, come over here to the, I don't get it. I personally don't get it. And I guess if you went in and had the dog, you probably would just give you a Braille menu. But now, of course, everybody's dragging a dog around. Oh, I'm so emotional outside. Question, should truck drivers who drive the speed limit in a 55 zone be allowed to live? Yeah, that's me. I mean, I'm not out there speeding. I will say that, and anybody that sees me out there, I'm not speeding in the truck. So whatever the speed limit is, that's what I'm cruising along at. Scott reinvented. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know why people need to speed when they're being paid. Because your company's not paying you to do anything illegal. And ironically, the policy here and at most companies is don't speed. And if you get too many tickets, we will fire you. So I'm all for their policy. So Wendy's or McDonald's, neither. Oh, well, that wasn't an option. Per diem hurts your Social Security in the long run, doesn't it? Yes. Yeah, because you made less money. So if you take it for too long, you would make less over your lifetime and your Social Security would be lower. Anything like if you broke your wrist and had to get workman's comp and you had a lot of per diem over many years, it would be lower because you don't make as much money. All that. If you were really hurt and couldn't work for the rest of your life and had to sue, you could only say, well, I need 20 more years of this pay, but it would only be your pay. It could hurt you on loans, although some banks seem to understand it. You still don't make as much money on a loan, so it just depends on what you want to do. And especially now for a loan for a car, what are cars now? $400,000? So it's hard to get a car. Salt or pepper? How about salt and pepper? All right, push it good. Laredo or Detroit? Well, Laredo, there's nobody left in Detroit. I'm doing more coming out of the truck than usual because of other day when at McDonald's ate $13 for breakfast burrito meal. Wow. So you're coming out of the truck? Cooking out of the truck, I bet is what you mean. Yeah, because $13 for breakfast burrito. Everything is higher. Oh, Ocrevus is a 6-month treatment for multiple sclerosis. Oh, all right. I didn't know that. Nazis is straight white male that votes Republican and has Christian values. If you have a work ethic, that's even worse. Yeah, getting people to work now seems to be a real problem. Andrew Hurricane just picked up a BP. They flew the pride flag with extra stripe. How do you know there's extra stripes? On the side for transgender and a black and brown. So there's transgender has an own stripe? You would think they'd get their own flag. Why they got to glom onto somebody else's flag? Get your own flag. So I didn't know there's black and brown stripes too. I don't know what the colors in it are, I guess. Believe a person in a lift could be the reason that they're braille to drive through. Like earphones hold for the hearing impaired. Yeah, I do see that thing. I wonder how many people ever use that. Because if you've driven up to the ATM, you can see the words on it. It doesn't talk to you, or at least mine doesn't here. It doesn't say anything. You just press buttons. So I don't know if anybody's ever plugged in. And I don't know if I'd go to an ATM with the Lyft driver or whatever. Hey, let me click this and get my Lyft money. So maybe, I guess. I've never had anybody ask me to take them to an ATM. Because you're paying the Lyft person with the app. Maybe you need money for where you're going. For free. They should. You can't see them way down there. Scott, you're in Laredo. Are any loads coming out of there? Because with the rates down and spot market down and less loads, according to everything that's out there, are any loads coming out? I remember getting down there, and some days you would sit. I would hate to get there on a Friday because by Friday morning, all the day's loads are already given to people, and you knew you were going to sit down there all weekend. And they wouldn't let us go to the truck stops. You had to sit at the terminal because they locked the gates, and it was all a big disaster. You couldn't go to any truck stops there. We were not allowed to do anything. Roger Penske, well, I guess you could go on your own. I'm bringing out 5 gallons of gas in DEF boxes from Albuquerque to Phoenix. That's enough. You can retire on that now. People are stealing that all over the place. They're finding all these scams. Even though it's down here, $4.89 today in town, which is better than it has been. So we're back under $5 at most places. It's even less at Sam's was $4.60 something I saw is the lowest in town, but most places in town $4.89 today. Much better than it was. Does anyone need a menu at McDonald's? I said, yeah, that's true too. I always wonder that too. If you're in there, what are people doing? Are they reading the menu? Wow, I wonder what this place has. Are these new? I've never seen one of these before. And look, just get a Big Mac. It's been there for 50 something years. What do you think about a scale? Now, this company contacted me, and they're not paying me or anything for this. So, Blue Ink Technology, and I have a link in the description here of today's video. They have onboard scales that you can just like clip in the airlines of your truck. I think that might not be a bad idea for owner-operators. They Bluetooth to an app in your phone. That's pretty good. If you would keep your own trailer, I think that's a pretty good idea. I thought you don't have to go to the cat scale, and It updates you while you're being loaded. You can see exactly how much it weighs when you leave. I think that's a brilliant idea. I think all companies should have that on their trucks. I told the guy, because he's like, well, we can do a collaboration. I'm like, look, it's mostly company drivers. They're probably not going to be able to install that. But I still think it's a good idea, so I want to bring that out there. Check out the link in the description for Blue Ink Technologies. Bluetooth scales, Bluetooth accurate scales. You no more going to a cat scale. Not being paid for that. Does anyone still use Uber or Lyft? I don't see all those guys break even. Andrew Hurricane. Yeah, they people use it, and I get bonus things sent to me all the time. Hey, come on out and drive for all these bonuses. So, yeah. And they give you, right now, they have a fuel surcharge for Uber. I don't know about Lyft. I'm not on Lyft. But so they have a fuel surcharge. You easily can make it. All you need to do is make 20 miles to the gallon, and you can make it at Uber. And if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Chris, TLGP Transco sighting I-81 this morning between Hagerstown, Maryland, and Martinsburg. Really? So they're venturing further east. They're getting braver. They're getting a little braver. I think they feel like because of the high cost of gas that I won't be venturing out that far to go see their trucks. Roger Penske, why is fuel up 70 cents in the boonies than it is in town? I don't know. Diesel right now, average, by the way, is $5.68. $5.68 for diesel. I don't know what's gas out there. What's gas running out west there? Scott, you're taking a load. Where does it go? That's always good. Go to Chicago or something. That's a good load out there. Dark, I'm seeing the pushback against the perversion that's being forced onto and damaging our country. Of course, because it went too far. People always take everything too far, and then they have to be pushed back to where they were. 409 unleaded in Louisiana. Oh, nice. Right by the refineries, though, right? They don't have to pump it as far. You make it down there. Although we have a refinery in Whiting, Indiana. Cot jockey. I would much rather have to pass a guy going 55 into 70 than pass a guy going 60, only to have him match my speed once beside him and leave me stuck in the fast lane. Happens way too often. Right. They see you passing them and then they're like, oh, I have that all the time when I would go out late at night. Be a real problem. You're coming up on somebody who's going 51, 52. You go to pass him. By the time I'm even with him, now he's going 65. And then he speeds up 70, 71. I got to get back in the right lane. Pay attention. But a lot of these are people that don't have a regular schedule, I think, and so they're tired. I got 5 gallons in quartzite last week. 5 gallons. 5 gallons. That's because you can only swipe the card now for $175, so you have to re-swipe. How much is it in quartzite? $321 cat box. Every time I see you in a car, it's right-hand drive. Seems like to me you're in a great position to take advantage of the Braille ATM. Exactly. Because of my love of Jaguars, so I only have right-hand drive vehicles. Clutch Trucker has a scale app he talks about. It might be the same kind of thing. Might be Blue Ink Technology. I think it's a great idea. And all you need to install this thing is either like a razor or box cutter or whatever. You just cut a couple of hoses and they give you the fitted, this click lock kind of thing. Bluetooth to an app on your phone, and you can watch your weights right there and know right when you leave that you're legal. Now, the only thing, I guess, it doesn't guarantee it like a cat scale, but you also don't have to go to the cat scale to scale the thing out because it's accurate, so you know that everything is good. Brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. John, over $6 in Oneida County, New York. Oh, nice. $6. At least your property taxes are low. Oh, your load is going to Mexico? Really? Per diem pay cheats child support recipients. The courts are just catching on in some jurisdictions. George Wilson. That is one reason people take it, because they reduce their income. That is true. I hear men complain about that always. Every driver's room, everything over the years. It's one of a couple of things that they complain about. It's almost always men complaining about it. Oh, I'm paying so much in child support. I remember one guy, he was paying like $35 a week. He goes, oh, I can't believe it. I'm like, yeah, $35. That's like nothing. So, but that is a big thing. And so they try to avoid it at all costs. Want to have all these kids, but not pay for them. So 446 in San Antonio. That's very nice. So it's apparently Indiana used to be the low spot, and it isn't anymore. And who can forget San Antonio, of course. Oh, he uses Appway. All right. Well, yeah, this one is Blue Ink Technologies. Maybe there are others too, just because they contacted me. So I thought I'm going to put it out there for people to check it out. As a company driver, I can't. He's like, I'll send you one to try. I'm like, I can't. There's no way they're going to let me cut the hose lines and put an air scale in. So I can't even try it. It just seems like a good idea. I think an owner-operator would be a great idea. It would save you all the scale money. and time and fuel of going in the scale, where somebody slides their tandems on the scale, which I've seen, I'm sure we've all seen, or somebody's parked there, or they park in front of it to go get a coffee. I think it's a great idea. All trucks should come with this from the factory so that you can just Bluetooth your phone to the truck and boom, all the scales work on it. Same with trailers. Companies should really put it on their trucks because it would save them the scale money and save them the fuel of all the trucks going in the scales. But I don't own a bunch of trucks. So $479 in Quartzsite on $459 yesterday in Albuquerque. $549 and up in Phoenix. Wow. 2 trips to LA and back gives you a full tank, usually more. Wow. $549 in Phoenix. Oh, they're killing it in Arizona. Well, that's for diesel. Oh, all right. Well, still. He got a ticket because it wasn't calibrated regular. They did show on their site, which he sent me a video about it, on how to calibrate the thing. And I probably would, if I was going to put it on a truck, I'd then go to a CAT scale a couple of times to make sure that it's accurate. You know, you'd want to do that. That would make me feel good about it. But if I went a couple of times and it showed accurate or very, very close, I think I'd be okay with that. Now, if it was really close, you know, like 100 pounds or whatever, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'd still get a CAT scale. But let's say it reduces 90% of the CAT scales. That's pretty good. All that time you got to take to go in there? Right. That would be great. But otherwise, you'd want to keep the thing calibrated because you'd just be nerve-wracking. But so it shows, 32,000 and it's usually right for you. Yeah, I'm in for it. Right. Are any companies providing travel for an abortion? Oh, nice. There goes the neighborhood. I hear Dick's Sporting Goods made that announcement. Yeah, some companies are paying for that. Right. I don't know. Trucking companies are going to get into that. $4.55 for gas in Eau Claire, home near Schneidy up there. So everybody's less than me. That's and it went down to 489 today, and I thought, oh, we're doing really good here today. Apparently not. Did you see the video of the driver who was run over in a truck stop parking lot walking to his truck? Truck speeding through, driver's okay, but banded up. Yeah, some truck right goes blasting through there and runs some goober over who's just trying to get himself walking across the parking lot. I do think, part of it is certainly the guy walking shouldn't be run over. Hey, look where you're going. And the other guy, what are we doing? But we all see this too. People going 45 through the truck stop. Slow down. Part of that is pay, I think. I think if you got paid by the hour, you wouldn't speed through the truck stop. Maybe. It makes your day go a lot better thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to drive like a safe person and then not have to worry that I'm going to lose money on my pay. The Bluetooth scale sounds like a great idea. Probably scale anything close to max regardless, though. Yes, this is Blue Ink Technologies. And it Bluetooths to your phone, yeah. But most loads, though, and you can watch it while they're loading it. So you would know right at the shipper, okay, I need to move this one pallet or whatever. It's a little too much in the back, so let's move this forward. You'd know right then. You wouldn't have to leave and come back. How much time really over a year do you think that would save if you knew right at every shipper that you were legal right then? Or you weren't over on one, you could slide your tandems right there and not have to worry about it. I think it's a great idea. Companies should put it on the trucks. If I had to scale all the time, I think it would be a great idea. I'm eating tacos in Laredo. Oh, to get a lemonade from one of those trucks down there. They were the best. The food trucks down there, the UPS-sized trucks where they come and make everything right there. Oh, yeah, a couple tacos and a lemonade. Especially today. What is it in Laredo? Probably 160? Oh, my gosh. Do some cat scales say meow? It should. There should be a cat that's their mascot cat, which they never did. If your company went to the Variant Ambassador program, would you then start recruiting for them? No. No, they basically I guess don't because that's an unlimited pay. So, no, but they give, over a couple of $1,000 per person that you get in there. So, and a lot of companies do that. And I know there are many people here on YouTube. I know several drivers here on YouTube that have made $100,000 in a year recruiting for their company, besides the work that they make at their company. But no, I'm not in for that. I'm not in for that kind of stuff. Those right-ways are uncalibrated from the idiot fork truck operators. Well, this one does say calibration. It does show a calibration thing on there. Luke, I got so mad yesterday. Another truck pulled off the shoulder of the highway doing like 20 when I was doing 70. I had to smoke my brakes. Yeah, people they don't know what they're doing. They're not watching. They're distracted by everything. There was a video of a pickup truck. He's passing a semi. That's why it was on CDL Life or whatever. And he had his own dash cam, which is where they got the footage. And he just slams into a police car sitting there on the side of the road. Kablamo. Just like that. That was the sound it made. Not paying attention at all. People should only be driving. 321 Catbox. Thank you. Have a great day. Don't forget, I did that, Deckles. Yes, thank you for being here. I'm deaf 40%, so I was looking for in parking lots. Right, but I think deaf or not, right? You should always be looking in the parking lot. What if somebody's cruising around a Prius in electric mode or whatever, you know? I mean, but that truck that was going through that truck stop was way fast. You know, there's a bunch of people walking around and everybody's looking at their phone. Everybody can't wait to get in there, you know, and harass the waitresses and everything. So you got to really watch that. You know, people are running in to get their daily shower that they get. Dominic, hey, Mark, hey, what's happening? Andrew Hurricane, just give everybody a spread axle reefer, load or heavy. That's right. I don't know why those really never caught on with vans. You know, and you really only see those with owner-operators. I've never had a spread axle reefer as a company driver. Spread axle flatbed, but never a reefer. I just don't know why those didn't catch on. But you'll see some owner-operator with that out there. I'm like, well, there's somebody who knows what they're doing. 20-some years ago, I wish we'd had Bluetooth scales and Google Maps. The trucking industry can keep the ELD and emissions equipment. Yeah, that would be the better thing, right? Google Maps and, you know, a Garmin, great idea. Bluetooth scales, brilliant. Look, what it should do, look, Linda, look. What it really should do is have a display in the cab of the truck. It shouldn't have to go to your phone. The truck itself should have it built in, and it picks it up from the trailer and displays it while you're driving. That'd be even a better idea. Scott, it's 98 in Laredo, so I was close. So you want that lemonade, real lemonade from those trucks. I can't remember the name of the truck because it was many years ago, but I'm sure they still sell delicious lemonade there. Mark, I like the idea of onboard scales, but how accurate are they and how often will they have to be calibrated? Well, I think you could calibrate it all the time, right? Every time you want. And look, if it wasn't accurate, I think the company would close because they'd get hate mail and have a 0 rating on Yelp or whatever. So it's in their interest, due to the free market, right, that everybody hates, but due to the free market, to be accurate, to have the scales be accurate so that they can sell them. So I would get it if I could. I'd scale a couple loads at a cat scale and compare it right there on the spot and see. And once I'm convinced, probably 2 or 3 cat scales, I'd use it all the time. And I'd only go back then if I was really close to 80,000 or really close on something. Otherwise, I'd trust it. I might actually take a screenshot of it for each load in case I was stopped somewhere. Fred Zeppelin. On home time in Clovis, California, had a swell 104 degrees today. Yikes. That's hot out there. I'd be sweating out all the gas prices out there. Well, you're going to get money, though. I was reading that. You're going to get a $1,050 California inflation check. Isn't that great? The government causes inflation, then gives you money, which will cause more inflation. Brilliant. $1,050 for each California adult. That's the way I understand it. And so much a kid, I didn't quite get all of it. So that's going to be coming out. That's what your governor wants to do for you there. Blanche at Denny's Flange stole my heart. Blanche. Kiss my grits. Remember her? Wasn't her name? No, her name was Flo. Dang it. Scott, if I drive a full shift and use all my hours and go to sleeper berth for 8 hours, then get up early to drive 3 hours, then take a 2-hour break, will I get my hours back? Yikes. Let's see. If you can't use all your hours and then take an 8-hour because you would only get the hours that are left. So, yeah, you stopped your clock, but you're out of hours. So you have to have hours left. For example, you drive 11 hours, take an 8-hour break, go to drive again, but you don't have any hours to drive because you only get the hours that are left. So the 8 hours just stops your clock right there, but you'd have no driving hours. So after 8 hours, you'd only get your hours back that you have left. If you didn't have any hours to start with at the 8 hours, you got to sit there for 2 more hours. So to get 3 driving hours to beat traffic, like you say, you have to have 3 hours of driving available when you stop. The guy did not want to use his jakes. He did not want to wake up anybody. John Tabler. He's the only person apparently in a truck stop that does not want to use their jakes. The bigger your exhaust port exit, apparently the more likely you are to use jakes. So Generally, this is a long-nosed Pete that has 10-inch stacks and no mufflers. And then we got a full Jake brake it through there, in first at 2,000 RPMs. Yep. Tire wear on spread axles. Owner-operators can dump the suspension on individual axles. An added cost to the power units. Roger Penske. Yeah, sure, there should be a dump. I had that on the flat. Right, you dump it to turn corners. But that's part of knowing how to drive, I guess, right? So they would teach their company drivers that, hopefully, so that they don't wear their tires out. I agree with you. I agree. What was the worst shipper or constant you ever experienced during your trucking career? Well, I still always remember that Kraft load where I picked up Kraft cheese and had to sit there 24 hours. Bobtail out at the guard shack where there were a bunch of bobtails, and we were there 24 hours. And it was like 10 p.m. I got there the night before, and they're like, it's going to be ready in the morning, but then it wasn't ready all day till like that next night. And they're like, oh, well, you can still make it. I had like 504 miles to go for the next morning. I'm like, forget that. I'm going to bed. Well, you sat there all day. Of course, the company, I'm like, I don't care. I was up all day, and now I'm going to bed. So you guys figure it out. Oh, they were super mad about that. 591 for diesel in Paducah. Robert, You're only ever coming out at the manhole. That's true. Always entry in the rear. A flat highway had 2 phones and put the CAT scale app on both to weigh my truck. It didn't give me a weight because I broke my phones running them over. I do wrong. Well, see, that's the problem, is then it increases your weight. So that's because also you didn't have one for each axle. If I drive a full shift and use my hours, right, and go and did I take the 2-hour break? No. We talked about that a moment ago. Do you already talk about the dead folks found in the trailer? Flash. Yeah, we did talk about that. 46 people found in a trailer in San Antonio. Illegal aliens, presumably. All right, we don't know, but that's why I assume they're in there. I don't like it. I don't like people coming here legally, but you know what? I don't like people being killed for that. Somebody murdered those people by leaving them in the trailer, and that person needs to go to jail for murder. If you're going to bring people, which is illegal, don't do it. At least open the door. At least be a human being. I mean, I cannot imagine just leaving. How do you just walk away from that knowing people are in a trailer in San Antonio where it's 1,000 degrees? I can't imagine it. That's what we've come to here in this country. Roger Penske, the sleeper berth exemption doesn't count towards this 10-hour break. Go figure. It didn't work for me, and I called safety and then read it in the green book. The sleeper berth exemption. Wildman 1982, suspension air pressure gauges on dash do the same thing, and dump drivers, it's what I use. Do they have, well, you're a single unit though, right? Or are you, do you have a trailer? Would those build in from the trailer and the dash? I still don't know why this is not all trucks, really. The manhole's down the street from the Blue Oyster Bar. I hope you like tango music. Of course. Mine was a Budweiser and Van Nuys. Very similar situation you had at Kraft. Yeah, I don't know why I have to sit a day. Well, if they have an appointment, why is the trailer not ready? All right. And so why do I have to just sit there? And then I love it, that you have to just, oh, well, you've been sitting all day. I'm sure you can just drive all night. I'm like, no, I've been here all day. So I went and parked. I got the trailer and parked like right there. They had parking. I parked right there. If you're not scraping the headliner, you ain't shifting. Exactly. The shifter scraping the headliner. You can't see it over the steering wheel because your seat's on the floor. And they just see the top of your head on the side of the door, which rhymes. Worcester Bar BOC Astronomy. Any place that uses capstone lumper service is the worst experience in trucking. Change my mind. Stan Dodge. Well, at least we don't have to pay for it. At least somebody else pays for it. Companies should always take their own product, too. Hope the responsible people will fry for that. Absolutely. They won't. No, I don't even know. They don't even catch anybody on this one, right? It was just a truck. And plus the truck was there. In the picture, there was a truck attached to the trailer. Who just leaves everything sitting there? I really don't understand it. So I guess the money, which they charge people money to come here illegally, they pay it, and so then that's it. You're like, forget it, just leave them. I just don't understand it. I really don't. Is it Stay Puffed or Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man? It's the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man. He stays puffed. Yeah. Stay Puffed Marshmallows. John Z. Black, talk about dumps. I saw a brand new Kenworth W990 with a drop axle leaving asphalt. Wow. See, they get the best trucks. We got to drive around Fleet Freightliners. Dark, finding these 46 bodies in the trailer have been horrific, especially they've been in there for a while. Well, some people were still alive. So hopefully they weren't in there too long, and you're just in there and everybody else is dying. You can't see anything. I mean, that's terrible. That's not right to do to people. That's not even humane at all. People shouldn't be coming here illegally. And I will tell you, the people that they found in there, once they're brought back to health, back they go. That's how I would do it. All right. Has anyone here driven a boxcar with a sleeper? A box truck with a sleeper? What's that like? I originally wanted to do that before I did an 18-wheeler. There's an ad. There was just an ad this week. Drive our new Hino box truck with sleeper, so it said, right? 48 states. You have to be out 3 weeks. And they had a picture of this thing. It's not a sleeper. It's a 4-door box truck where you sleep in the back seat. And I thought, that's barely a sleeper. I'm sure it measures, it's only because the sleeper only has to be 24 inches. A ride on a box truck nationwide. Wonder what happened. It was a reefer. Reefer stopped working. No, it didn't look like it was a reefer. It was a dry van. I wouldn't leave my cat in a hot house alone. Let 46 humans in. Right. I mean, I don't turn the air warmer or anything if I leave because the cat's here. Even though the government wants you to sit in at 82 degrees, that ain't happening. So if I'm not here, the air stays on for the cat. Same way in the car. Last time I took it to the vet, I stopped somewhere. I think I was talking to the Ford dealer for something. I left the car running. The cat's in the car. Car's running. Because I had the air on, so it stayed cool in there. I'm not leaving people in a trailer. That is not happening. You can't be a human and then leave people locked up in a trailer where they just die. It's terrible. Apparently the trailer was a reefer with a busted motor. It didn't look like one. But either way, why don't we bring them in a regular reefer? Go rent one from Tip. Panther Logistics at FedEx Custom Critical had box trucks with sleepers. They were like regular sleepers, though. Like a sleeper from a semi. The picture in the ad that I saw, I think it was out of Indianapolis. It was just the base of the back seat of the box truck. And it was a small, Hino doesn't make big trucks. It's like a business class truck. I thought, oh, that's going to be leaf springs. It's going to be terrible. Robert Alexander with Red Classic and ConAgra dedicated account. Great move from Schneider. You like that better? Red Classic's right over here on the other side of Frankfort, Indiana. Tomatoes. But here we're having a lot of private freight, so it should be a lot better place to work. Took the car to the vet. Well, I took the cat to the vet. The vet, she goes in there occasionally. And so I stopped somewhere, and I remember leaving the car running. I thought, well, cat's in the car, leaving the car running. So it's just like at the house. Air stays running. Cat's in the cradle. Yeah, I don't know where she is. Holy mackerel. She's probably sleeping in the back, looking at the birds as normal because it's still sunny out today. Oh, this guy. I don't understand who does this, right? Typical recruiter left the students in the trailer. Ah, right. To unload. Terrible, though. He picks up a hitchhiker. Okay. And turns out, oh, yeah, hitchhiker knifes him to death. Yeah. How about let's not pick up hitchhikers? Does anybody still pick up hitchhikers? This isn't 1974. So would you pick up a hitchhiker on the side of the road that needed a ride? I guess this person had just committed a couple other murders and was trying to get away and, thumbing a ride. And, of course, some truck driver picks him up. And the driver's dead now because of it. Week in Indianapolis, Paul Harris finally got rental car to go head back to Richmond. The truck is waiting on parts. Ugh. I hope they paid at least a motel. And plus, how did you get a rental car at this time of year? That's expensive. They're better off leaving you in the motel. Goodness, Brian Walker. Goodness, thank you very much. Holy mackerel. I appreciate it. My Transit has a bunk. Really? A Ford Transit van? It can't be that big. Can't be that big. That's probably a better ride than a straight truck, though. You'll not get a true weight of the scale until you're fully loaded and you're able to apply air into your bags. Yeah, I think your first few loads, right, you would scale and calibrate and check on your app and everything right there on the cat scale, right there. So once it's accurate, though, I'm in for it. I think it's a great idea. I just can't even test it or anything, so I'm not, I'm just putting it out there for people. Truck with a shower in a straight van called Exam. Wow. A shower. Robert Alexander, was the cause of the Walmart warehouse fire up over there ever determined? No, not that I heard. I guess they're going to tear the whole building down. That's what they said now. The building is a total loss. And they're going to tear down the whole building. Everybody's got, I think, another few weeks to decide if they're going to transfer to another Walmart. The other one, next closest one's the other side of town. But they're paying people. So Walmart is done right by these people. They're paying them like 2 months of their regular pay. for this. So we got to give it to Walmart for that, because they don't have to. Warning, hitchhikers may be escaping inmates. Those people are just trying to, all they want is some food. They don't want to kill you. They don't have the energy to kill you. Yeah, right, Roger Penske. Hitchhiking in Arizona and California before legalized version. Yes, years ago you might have been able to do it. I never hitchhiked or anything, but you could do it. When speaking of Sydney or England, there's a lawsuit. Another class action is forming. Yes, what a surprise. In October of 21, they apparently had a large breach of their internal files and everything, and the information, including names and social security numbers of, get this, 224,000 students and employees was released. 224,000. You tell me they can't get drivers? 224,000 was released, and they didn't tell people. They investigated it for 6 months to see what happened, and then they told people. So there's a class action forming about that. If you've worked there, I guess apparently anytime before October 21, I don't know how far back it goes, you're going to get notified of something once this lawsuit coalesces into, something a little bit bigger. All they're doing now is doing credit monitoring for everybody. But people are saying, look, that's not good enough. These people had 6 months to steal our identity, and it's a real problem, and you didn't tell anybody. I cannot imagine that they had 224,000 students. That's amazing. But yet they can't get any people, and there's a shortage. Walmart is paying them our wages from self-checkouts. Dad, yeah, I hate it at Meijer. I hate it. I've talked to them about it, and they're like, well, yeah, somebody's supposed to be here, but they call off all the time. I'm like, well, then why don't you fire them? They're already not. Well, if we fire them, then we won't have anybody here. I'm like, they're already not here. Okay, because they have one cashier for all the 10 registers or whatever. I'm like, they're already not here. And I don't like checking out at self-checkout here. You don't pay me my workman's comp here. I said, so when I mess this order up all the time and I don't ring stuff up, but you didn't train me good. Paul Harris, motel was close to $1,000. Yeah. Rental car was $400 for the week. Corporate booked the rental car and paying for it. Oh, they probably have a deal then. At least. Because I know rental cars now, I've seen like a Versa at $100 a day from Enterprise, even though they'll pick you up. George Wilson, driving any kind of vehicle is a strict attention-focused discipline that demands the utmost attention of the operator, 100% focus. Right, and that's not being done anymore. And people are just blasting in. There's so many accidents this week, truck accidents, where people are crashing into other trucks, 40 vehicle accidents. Nobody's paying attention to anything. Crafty Trucker had a bath on their box trucks. Oh, really? Wow. That's what you want to sit in a bathtub at night. Never a big bath person, I want to sit in a big pool of my own filth. I used to take up to ASU Tempe from U of A in 1976, right? So it was probably better. Then somebody pulls up in their rockin' Volare or whatever they have, maybe a Dart Swinger, and pick you up, and you head up there then. Not now, right? I don't think I'd pick anybody up now. Jason King, hello. Mark, about to head to work at UPS. When did you move to Tuesdays? Oh, a few weeks ago. We're started here on Tuesdays. I don't know how long that'll last, but that's what we're doing now. How's UPS going? Busy, I assume. They're here all the time. I have an onboard scale, and it's helped me more than once. But at the same time, I've experienced shippers wanting a CAT scale ticket only to fix the load. Really? So they won't accept it. I wonder how you get around that. So you show them the app, and they go, no, I need a CAT scale to fix your load. Interesting. Do they pay you to go to the CAT scale then? I guess it depends if you're a company driver. If you're a company driver, you would get paid for it. That's an interesting question for owner-operators, if there are any on here. If you are overweight at a shipper and you show it in an app and they go, we need a CAT scale, do you get paid anything to go to the CAT scale and then come back? And can you negotiate that right then? I don't think so, because your deal's with the broker. Speaking of Walmart, why do they feel they need to check receipts at exit? Yeah, supposedly they just look at it a little bit, right? I don't know if you even have to give it to them. Probably. What are you stealing? I go, look, what can I steal in here? And there's nothing in here that's more than $5. It's Walmart. What am I going to take? I mean, what is somebody going to steal when they come in their flip-flops and pajamas? All right. They're phasing out the use of headset hands-free because of idiots can't drive and chew gum. Well, what will they have next? So now you can't even have a headset on? You're going to have to just get the little tiny one so the cops can't see it. At Sam's Costco, I understand. Andrew Hurricane, anyone got the 411? Oh, that's fancy. on the dump truck driver who got creamed by an Amtrak train. I was looking that up too, and I was wondering why he was on the tracks. 2 people died in that, and he derailed 8 Amtrak cars. There were 200 and some passengers and 12 crew members on that Amtrak train. And see, this is why, the industry can cry about having higher insurance premiums. What do you think all that costs? 2 people are dead, a bunch of people are injured, and 8 rail cars are off the tracks and are damaged. And, how much does all this cost? That's why this is not some kind of, and they'll decry this later as some kind of huge, lawsuit, but what are you going to do? 2 people are dead. Is that not worth something? Taco Tuesday at Taco Mark's. Yes, always entry in the back there too. Broker offered me $1.15 a mile for $44,000 to Phoenix today. Brian Walker. Wow. I've seen the rates have come down, and there are people griping about $2 a mile. $1.15 a mile. Is that what the rates are now out there? Does that include fuel also? So, because what they said is the rate is the lowest rate in 22 months. That it's $2 a mile is the average van rate for the country, and it's the lowest since July of 2020. That does not include fuel, which the average fuel right now is 72 cents, according to DAC load boards. So $2.72, I guess, would be the average rate going on a van load. But that's nationwide. $1.15 to Phoenix. Wow. To Phoenix from where, too? So I guess that depends from where. If it's from Tucson, that might be one thing. $1.15, and that's a whole load. And do you have automated scales like we were talking about? These blue ink scales, Bluetooth scales on your trucks? I still think that's a great idea. I wish more people would do it. I'd love to see them in action. Oh, it's out of Salt Lake City. The last 7 days is $1.69, including fuel. So they're only giving 54 cents on fuel at $5. Yikes! I've seen John Christner's giving 63 cents on top of their dollar amount. Yeah, I mean now John Christner trucking drivers are like, hey, I'm getting $1.05. I'm not doing bad. You're on Amtrak Wednesday. The wife is considering taking Amtrak to Seattle, so I don't know if that's going to go over good, seeing that. This isn't Amtrak's fault, though. This is somebody in the tracks, but this is always a problem. You're on tracks that were made in the 1800s, and now you're on a train, so you hit a dump truck. The whole train derailed. There goes my pancakes flying out of there or whatever. So you have them on 2 of your trucks. Do you trust them? When I drove for the Lindy Group, the company made it a fireable offense of a CB radio. Any hands-free communication device, cell phone use of any kind, or food or drink in the truck. Really? So you can't do anything. So you can't have water. You can't have anything. So I know a friend of mine drove up there at Fair Oaks for the milk place, and Fair Oaks Farms or whatever, and they would let him have a CB but not a microphone. I swear to you, he showed me the thing in the book. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And they didn't allow you to use the phone when you're driving either. I don't know about food. I'll have to ask him about that. So if you have a drink of water, you're fine. I guess I'd have to stop whenever I want a drink of water, you have to stop. Is the thing and take a drink of water? That's stupid. Who thinks of this? The reason Walmart checks your receipt is if you forget to scan an item. Well, I might forget because you know what? I'm not trained to work as a cashier. So if I mess it up, that's their fault for not training me properly. They're getting what they pay for. A Dark 688. Then they wanted to take out the radio because music was considered a distraction. Oh, that'd be crazy. No radio also? So it's karaoke day? No way. At least you can have that. Robert, a buddy of mine was asking about going to JB Hunt on dedicated home daily. Not very familiar with that company. Well, they're pretty big. And the people that write to me from JB Hunt that like it are on a dedicated run. I will say I don't get a lot of road drivers there that are like super happy, but people there, which JB does a lot of dedicated stuff, yes, but tell them to ask, because you know what JB Hunt is doing a lot now of? Last mile. They call it final mile. JB Hunt's, I think they call it JB's last mile or something like that, and where you deliver appliances and stuff to people's homes. And you... it's home every day, but that's a lot of work, delivering stoves and stuff in everybody's houses. Brian, so you 100% trust them. That's what I'm thinking. Once you calibrate it, it should be trustworthy. And because a place, Blue Ink Technologies wrote to me and said, hey, look, let's talk about these scales out here. And I thought, that's a great idea. I don't let Walmart check my receipt. They called the cops and said I sold everything. I made it home before they came to my house. Hey, tell them, look, I don't know how to ring everything up. I don't work here. If you want it rang up right, have somebody that works here ring it up. JB Hunt, also no headset and no hands-free. Really? Is that a policy there? Can anyone tell me what cartoon character does Mark resemble? Oh, that's a good question. What cartoon character does Mark resemble? I'm looking over here for it. Is it this one? Yikes. Hopefully not that one. I don't know. I was thinking, the Chuck Norris kind of, Schwarzenegger kind of thing. But hey, what do I know? I think I'm close. The Messer Group took over the Lindy Group, and I've heard from the drivers that it's worse. Couldn't imagine that. Well, if they're going to karaoke, I can't imagine a place won't even let you have a radio in the truck that's built into the truck. Do they take them out of their car? That's what I always ask people when they want to put a camera in the truck or whatever. I say, look, go ask them, why don't they put a camera in their car? Because the executives, always managers, everybody down to dispatchers tell you how great of an idea it is and how it's for safety and how it's going to save your career if you get into an accident. I'm like, well, why don't you put one in your car? I never see that happening. So that's how I know that they're disingenuous about it, and that it's just hypocritical of them. I'd rather they told me the truth, that we're putting this in whether you like it or not, and because we want to save money on insurance, at least I'd respect what they have to say. When they say it's about safety, and I'm like, well, did you put one in your wife's car? So, because you certainly wanted to be as safe as possible. And they're like, oh, well, no, I don't want to be watched all day. Exactly. Exactly. I just hate that. I just hate it. Be honest about it. Flash, I don't work here. Yeah, look, I didn't bring it up right. I don't work here. I don't know how to use your stupid equipment. Some of the stuff didn't get rang up. I don't know. Get somebody that's got workman's comp to ring it up. No hands-free. Schneider had that for a while, right? Walmart had that policy for a while where they limited it, but they don't now. It's just stupid. So I can't even call a customer because I can't put my headset on. So I'm lost, but I can't call and there's nowhere to park. So you just turned JB Hunt down for that reason. It's a policy. Yeah, I agree. It's the only way to do it. And you should tell them that's why you're not working there so that they know. Oh, you have a camera in the truck or whatever and no hands-free or whatever. I don't want to work here. Yosemite Sam. Oh, I remember that guy. Pink Panther. I remember watching Pink Panther growing up. Yeah, Saturday mornings. Gary, are idiotic morons bad? The person who set the $1.15 per mile. Well, no, I mean, they put the rate out there to see, kind of throw it at their refrigerator like a piece of spaghetti to see if it sticks, if anybody takes it. And what should happen, of course, is nobody takes it. And with fuel at $1.69, that's not great. You're not making any money at that. Especially if you own the truck and have to pay somebody else, you certainly can't do that. So there's a new app some companies are using. They get a ding every time you touch your phone on duty. Haha. Duty. Oh, needs to move there. It didn't ring good. Well, the problem is I wouldn't download an app to my own phone from the company. So is that what you're saying? They want you to download stuff? I did a video about this, why you need to go to orientation with a flip phone. But you shouldn't download an app to your phone from the company at all, no matter what it is. If they need you to do something, in my opinion, they should give you a device to do it on. So the only way they would know that is if you had that app on your phone. If you don't trust your employer, contractors don't have them. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Say, well, because they put cameras in here, and most of the trucks have cameras. And so we're like, look, I've been here all these years, and now you want to put a camera in the truck. So fortunately, my truck doesn't have it, but 3 of the trucks do have them? They'll get around to it. I've had trucks with the camera in them too. And the managers do the same thing. Oh, well, I'm like, oh, this truck has a camera. Like, well, yeah, it's going to save your career. I go, well, I already have a dash cam for that. So, oh, yeah, but it's so safe. I'm like, I don't see one in your car. Why don't you have one in your car? Well, I don't. Because I asked the guy about Progressive one time. I'm like, well, do you use Progressive so they can plug that in and track your driving or whatever? Oh, no, I don't want them watching me around. Oh, I go, exactly. I go, you're just a hypocrite like the rest of them. Christy Haymark, great show as always. Well, thank you very much. Do you trim Gracie's nails? If so, any tips you could share? No. She has scratchers, and if they get too long, she goes to the vet because I'm afraid to do it. So I'm super afraid to either get murdered by the cat or do it too much, where it's too far. So no, but other than scratching in that, she does pretty good with it between her regular teeth cleanings, which is once a year. Right, so it's against company policy to take a drink of water. I can't imagine a company that has a policy that says you can't even take a drink of water. I'd say, well, have you taken your cup holders out of your car, I assume, and put a camera in it? I mean, it's just so stupid. Then they wonder why they can't get drivers. But England managed to snag 224,000 drivers. Now, I don't know how long that is. Dark, the Lindy Group had transportation supervisors spying on you and following you. Driver-facing cameras on the job sites monitoring your RPMs. Oh, my gosh. Well, I guess now that wouldn't be a problem. I go, look, the truck shifts at 2,200. I don't know what to say, but... So they have nothing better to do all day than spy on you. What a morale booster that must be. And the supervisors around spying on you. I told them specifically, Flash, good, because it's the only way they're going to learn. We can't just turn a job down. They have to know why. And if they get enough people turning jobs down, they'll have to do something. Go, we can't get anybody to come in because of our dumb policies. Every driver is turning us down. Scott, I'm seeing lots of trucks rolling north on 35 from Laredo. What's happening down there? Or is there just a bunch of freight coming in? Or is it more GM cars and Ford Fusions and Volkswagens and every other car maker that's down there? Flat Highway, when Lafayette PD came to my house, I'll tell them I don't have to talk to you since they're outside city limits. They waited 2 hours. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's true. You don't have to talk to them ever. I didn't know you lived outside of town. No food or drink in the truck. It's scheduled so tight you didn't have time to stop. Oh, well, I would stop. I mean, you have to stop. What about the pee-pees? And while you're in there, you got to get something to drink. I'd say, look, you don't let me take a drink, so now I got to stop. See, I would just have problems with them with that. Flash and Pan, they make you download the app in orientation. Yes, except that I wouldn't do. And I did do a video about this. Bring a flip phone to orientation. Okay, that doesn't download apps. You can go buy one at the store for $20 and activate the thing so it works and say, yeah, here's my phone right here. So download all you want to it. What do they do about that? Do they require you then to get a phone? I'm like, I don't want a smartphone. I'm not getting a phone. $439 for unleaded, $543 for diesel, and 6.5 inches at the manhole at least, depending who you talk to. Remember, it's dark there, so it's hard to see. Everything there's measured in metric, so it's bigger. K&B still using the cell phone tracking app, to my understanding. I get more recruiting emails from them than any carrier. Well, this is another thing, right? If they're tracking your cell phone, I don't get it. And that's one reason I don't want to download anything from work. When you're not at work, who's to say what they're doing on your phone? Looking around at you, following you, turning your camera on. I mean, that's none of their business. The phone is completely my phone. They don't pay for it or anything, so they have no access to it. That's how I feel about that. If they want to give me a phone, they can download whatever they want to it. Like I got a tablet for work or whatever. That's their tablet, so they can put whatever they want on it. But I don't use it for anything for me. They're like, oh, well, you can just check your email and stuff. I'm not checking my email on your tablet. Are you kidding me? From all the other companies that I'm applying to? No way, I told them. I don't get paid to wait in line at the checkout either. I always use self-checkout, almost never any waiting. There, but Roger Penske, but I don't like ringing it up because, especially a large order, I just don't like doing it. They should have cashiers for that. They have 40 lines at Meijer. I think there's 22 registers at this Meijer here. And there's nobody. But they have all these self-checkouts. So if I misring something, that's their problem. I need to go to orientation for Meijer. Hello, Mark and everyone. Haven't been here in a while. Mr. Wiener. All right. Hello. What's happening? Cars in the ocean still? Cars in the ocean. Death Valley hitchhikers, trucking freedom. You don't want to pick them up anywhere. Plus, they're kind of sweaty. It's reefer and van from Mexico. Yeah, well, I'm saying cars, they make a lot of cars down there because GM just agreed to raise the pay to like $4.55 an hour at that one plant down there. Pretty impressive, for the expensive pickup trucks that they make. I live by Meijer. The city limit ends at 26 once you pass Meijer. Yeah, right. Okay, so if you're out there, you are outside the city. And then if you go to that Meijer, you know what I'm saying, which is there's not that many cashiers there, especially on Sunday. Especially on Sunday mornings. Scott Hagar the Horrible. Oh, I remember Hagar. Right. See, I don't get the paper anymore. So that's when I used to read the comics, but since they stopped bringing it, I don't get the paper. I was probably one of the last ones to cancel. I don't know how many subscriptions they still have, but you can't get the thing delivered to you. What do we think about USA Truck being sold? Sold to DB Schleckenheimer. It's DB Schneider, right? It's probably brother of DB Cooper. I'm not sure about that. They're going to be sold by the end of the year. They're going to take the place private, so the stock will be delisted. Everybody will get bought out. It's 32 something they're offering for the stock, I think, and it'll be a private company, so we won't know anything about them. Now, at least this place is a worldwide logistics company. So at least they're adding something to their portfolio that is trucking related. And I don't know if anything will change there. It's not like they're being absorbed to another trucking company. Everything should stay okay at USA Truck, as whatever that is at USA Truck. Laredo has super bad rates for dry vans. There's always tons of people there, though, right? So you can't get out of there with any kind of money because everybody's going down there and then nobody gets a load out. What's a super bad rate, though? Is it under $1 in Laredo again? Oh, so quickly fortunes change on the spot market. California requires a company to pay your phone bill if your employer makes you use it. We have tablets now. Okay, well, I still don't want it on my phone, even if they're paying for it. They need to provide the device. So even if they're like, I'll pay your entire phone bill, I'm like, no, because it's my phone. I don't want you messing around on my phone. You know, where they can install all this stupid tracking stuff. Because are they not going to track you all the time? What if you went to, see a psychiatrist or, oncology clinic for cancer treatment? That's always what I'm thinking. And then they're tracking you. And so they're like, oh, why does he go to a psychiatrist every Wednesday at 2 or whatever for an hour? That's none of their business. That kind of thing is none of their business. And so I don't want the phone tracked from work. What I do outside of work is none of their business. All they should care about is what I'm doing at work. That's it. The Spokane School District has initiated an equity program for underprivileged kids. And now my kids, including my autistic son, is on a wait list due to no available spaces in their schools. Nice. Underprivileged kids. What is an underprivileged kid? I mean, what do they mean by that? How about, we can't have equality of outcome. It just doesn't work. That's just not how things work. Hopefully, maybe you can get your son into a private school or something, although I can't imagine what that would cost. Oh my gosh. Is there a website or number to call? I worked at England in 2010, Flat Highway. No, they said they're going to notify people. What is happening is this is a class action that is just forming, kind of like a storm off the coast. There's lawyers right now forming this up because of the breach. The breach was in October of 21, but it has to be from way before that because 224,000 people's information was taken, including names and social security numbers. And then they investigated it for 6 months before they said anything about it, according to the lawyer. So what they want to do is sue Sierra England for people, not just to get credit monitoring, but for more than that. And I cannot imagine how far it goes back. If they have 100% turnover, they'd hire, 5,000 people a year as drivers? So that's 50 years of drivers. I can't imagine. They must hire 10,000 drivers a year. That's still 20 years of drivers. Ridiculous. But the lawsuit is not filed yet, but they are looking to file it. And believe me, it'll come together with that many people in it. It's coming. And you'll probably get some kind of coupon for like $2 off a hat or something at their store. But still, I just love to see England pay for this stuff. Columbia, Georgia, Tuesday's the new Monday, right? Brian, I have a contract that sends loads to Laredo, and I reject those loads weekly. I lose money coming back out on the rates. So you send those loads away because the rates out of there are so low right now. That turned around quickly too, didn't it? How much lower can the rates go? This is why people that bought one truck or whatever just at the height of all this, where they have a truck with 800,000 miles on it that they still owe $173,000 on, that's going to be a problem. The reefers catch on fire, Scott. They could, certainly, because drivers never check them. I cannot tell you the times that they would say, hey, do you have any oil with you? When I was running a reefer over the road, yes. Oh, can you go over here because one of the reefers at this place stopped running, and they would pay you for this. So can you go put some oil in it and start it? So, yeah, so nobody checks anything. The door, I don't think drivers ever open the doors on their trailers and check anything. When you pick one up, forever, half of them were low on coolant or low on oil. What if they track you to the manhole? George, well, you know what? That is true. What if they track you to the manhole or a place like that, and somebody in the office is, says, hey, that isn't right. And I'll tell you, it's none of their business if it's right or not what I do on Saturday nights. That kind of thing is true. What if they do track you to some kind of clinic or something else that's treating something? Or what if they track you to, it could be a lot of different things, a lot of different things that the company has no business looking into. So I don't think you should put anything on your personal phone from work. What you're doing on your free time is none of their business. If I attended a driving school 19 years ago, do I still need to go back to driving school to add on an endorsement? No, at least not here. In Indiana, the other endorsements are just in writing. Hazmat is a different story. But otherwise, here it's just in writing. I think only to add hazmat. And and it's only so many hours, and I think it's online too. And it's just because the law just changed. To add hazmat, you have to go back now, and there's an online class you could take for about $70 from what people tell me, $75. Otherwise, no. The other ones just go and go down in Indiana, take the tanker test or triples test. Kevin, thanks for making Tuesdays great again. Now Mondays are terrible. Hope to meet you one day. Great shows always. Well, thank you very much. Yes, I'll see you next year at the Mid-America Truck Show. Whether I'm speaking or not there is up for grabs, but I'll be there either way. I see them smoking occasionally. Yeah, nobody changes the oil in them. Nobody checks the coolant. Nobody does any belts or go bad on them. Forever have problems. I applied to enroll my autistic son in private school that he starts in the fall. Waiting to hear if he's been accepted. We're hoping and praying this school is tailor-made for his needs. That'd be better anyways than a public school. You don't want him to end up like me. I'm a moron. I can't even figure anything out. So private school, especially something that will do better for him, would be much better. I hope he gets in too. Tell them about the tablet too. Mr. Wiener, I don't use the self-checkout lanes at all. Every time I'm waiting to pay somewhere they try to push the self-checkout, I come back with, am I getting a discount? Mr. Wiener, well, the problem is, and I agree with you, on Sunday mornings lately now, Meijer doesn't have any cashier lanes open. They always have the same excuse. Well, the person called off or, the people call off. I'm like, well, is there a manager in the store? Why aren't they ringing stuff up? Get them out here. And then they leave you alone, right? But if there's nobody around, you're just stuck. Kelly, tracking app, they get to know my favorite porn types. That's another thing. What if they're looking at that? It's possible. I mean, to say it's not possible, no, it is possible. And the company, I'm sure, would say, oh, well, we don't do any of that. Well, you could. You could. And so it isn't any of their business. Maybe, goats, Wednesday goats or whatever. I don't know. Ryan, enjoyed the last podcast. Great content. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. The podcast goes longer than most of my videos, most of them, and I have a lot of fun doing them. We get into a lot more things than I can get into here on YouTube. Flat Highway, where I work, they know people don't check tires, so we have to get a tire pass 3 times a week. At Love's, they pay for it. Wow. I'm glad they pay it to stop by the Love's and get it done. Yeah, nobody checks the tires with a gauge. I mean, I don't gauge the tires. That's for them to do. It's their truck. And in fact, they say, look, are you a mechanic? Well, then don't be doing mechanic things to the truck. Have a mechanic do it. All right. And then I go in and the shop's closed. Oh, well, yeah, we're closed and we don't stay open. Oh, so I can't get anything done. You don't want me to do it and you don't want to do it. So I don't know what to say. There's no way they would pay tire pass here. They wouldn't even give me a headlight from the truck a while ago to take with me. And a light ended up going out, and I stopped on the side of the road and called road service, and they sent a truck out with a light bulb to a headlight to fix on the truck. He actually came with 2. We changed both lights. I guess they figure that's cheaper than giving Mark a headlight to take with him. I don't know. Companies have stupid policies. We can't give you a light. Oh, do you know how much those cost? That's what he said. I'm like, yeah, like $8. It's just like a regular bulb. Oh, well, yeah. What if we gave everybody one? I guess it would save you a lot of money on the road. I told my autistic son's teachers and therapists about what I found in the tab, and they suggested removing it myself quietly. Why does everybody want to keep this quiet? Just don't say anything about that. Why is everybody? I would say, look, are you all on the take here? Does everybody get paid off by this place? I mean, it's possible. It's possible that there's so much money flying around that there's got to be some kind of grant involved in it or something. GP Transco is now on a hiring wait list. All right. Isn't that funny? How some places have 200,000 people as students and some places have a wait list. All right. I didn't know that, but that's good. And they just passed 500 drivers. I did see that. So GP Transco passes 500 drivers now. They're getting to be almost a teal mega carrier. They're the teal trucking of mega carriers. I don't know where the line is to be drawn from at mega carrier. Close. They're getting close. I think mega carrier is partly a mindset too, though. Like no radio in the truck, and also you can't talk on the phone. You can't listen to the radio. Do they just want their trucks to drive off the road all the time for people falling asleep? You can't drink water or eat no coffee, no nothing. Oh, please. So what am I going to do with my 128 ounce Mountain Dew Loves cup that I have to fill up 3 times a day? I mean, that kind of stuff is ridiculous. And send that wait list to me. I need about 15. 15. The difference, though, probably is the size of the place, right? It's harder to find people the smaller you are, I think. I always use a gauge on my steers, but Billy knocked all my other tires. Yeah, you just can't tell how much is in there with the club. Or the club on the handle. I have a lot of tools, George Costanza, in my truck to change out marker lights or headlights or taillights. I have extra parts and everything but connectors and wires and wiring harness. Look, I would change lights out and stuff, and I did change out taillights, usually just with another trailer if they popped out. But the headlight they wouldn't give me. They're like, oh, we don't want you doing that, and the headlights cost money. I'm like, fine. I don't know. What does it cost to have a truck come out from the Loves to fix you on the side of the road, put a headlight in? Hundreds of dollars, I'm sure. So apparently they think that's less money. So, okay, there's nothing I can do about it, I guess. It's their truck. Tracking apps could be trouble with the manhole. John M. That's right. That's why they collect your phone at the door and put it in a aluminum foil bag. So there's no tracking. We don't want any errant pictures being taken at the wrong time. No flash photography, please, at the manhole. AB5 is on hold for you 1099ers out there. The Supreme Court just released a list of, apparently, the rest of the cases that they're going to decide here by the end of the month, and the AB5 case is not on there. It's not on there for a decision, and it's not on there for anything. So it looks like until at least August, September, it's on hold because the case is currently on hold from California, and apparently it will continue to be on hold. So you have a few more months if you're out 1099ing your way through life, or have a lease truck or whatever in California. You at least have a respite now of a few months left to go before they decide the case. And it looks like with this case, they just decided, I think it was C.H. Robinson, right? They just decided that Robinson is responsible monetarily in an accident that a company that they hired had. And they said, okay, you can also sue C.H. Robinson as the broker because they hired the company. So they are responsible to make sure that the place they hire is safe and has a good rating and all this other stuff. They can't just willy-nilly go and hire any random yahoo off the street. They have to at least put some kind of, care and effort into it. And the Supreme Court just did decide that. So that case is going to go back, and C.H. Robinson is going to have to stand trial for that. The Love's Bladder Buster mug, 64 ounce. Oh, yeah. 64 ounces of black coffee. I pulled over regularly, even with a high value load to go number one, stand out. You don't have any choice sometimes. You got to kind of figure that out. I didn't know they had a half a gallon of coffee mug. Would it still be warm at the end of that? Maybe it's all insulated. That's a half a gallon of coffee. That's the load. That's the coffee that you get when you pick the load up at 11:30 p.m. and you have to be somewhere the next morning at 10 a.m. That's 589 miles away. George Costanza, I did rewiring of the 7-way wall in Brigham City, Utah. The Love Shop came out and walked me through how to do some of the stuff, what I was looking at. But I have a 7-way tester. You have all the stuff there. See, they would be offended at me for doing that. They go, well, you're not a mechanic, so what are you doing? That's what they would say. So I'm like, well, then you fix it. And then they're like, well, we close at 4 in the afternoon or whatever, I always carried my own tool, oil oil, coolant, fuses, DEF, headlights, glad hands, seals, bulbs. Yeah, on the road because they didn't seem to mind it. But when the place won't even give you a headlight and they kind of get mad at you for doing anything, then I'm like, all right, then every time there's a problem, I'm just going to stop and call road service, and you can have the closest shop or whatever come out and fix it while I sit there and get paid, and you pay them. And that they don't seem to mind that. Oh, yeah, okay, right. Rather than just give me a headlight. So, but when a headlight goes out, I'm not going to keep driving because I could get a ticket. So I need to stop and call. And so 2 hours later, a Love's pickup truck shows up with 2 bulbs, puts them in. I have the guy put them in, and they already paid him, and leaves with my old bulbs. So that's it. Yeah, that's if that's what they want, I guess that's cheaper for them. Ultra Mega Teal. Oh, that could be the new name of the place, right? That sounds like a great thing for the next Transformers movie. Decamp Pre-Linde worked for BOC utilizing Exta ELD, and a district manager discovered several drivers taking unnecessary routes. Well, they could do that now too, though. They don't need to track your phone, right? And they could do it through their ELD. The trucks are all tracked too. I mean, if I can track the car, which is what I will say, I can look right up on my phone and see where the escape is. Just like that, anytime. I could do that on Sonic, but you have to pay for that. But for Ford, it's free. So we can track the car. The company could certainly track the truck without installing anything on my phone. So they can't use we're just using it to track. Well, you track the truck. You don't need to track my phone. It's my phone. Don't fall for any of this bamboozlement. Mr. Biener, the majority of drivers using Tire Pass, don't know how to use it properly. Tire pressure should be checked before you start your workday when the tire's cold. I agree. This is better than nothing, but the tires should be in the morning. Same with all the other fluids when it's cold. Trucks should be off a couple hours to check coolant, to check oil, all that. After the day, people pull in the fuel and they're checking their oil. They just ran down the highway 400 miles. That's not how you don't check the oil after it's all hot like that. It needs to be checked in the morning for accurate. Same on your car. When it's cold. Same with the tires when it's cold. All that when it's cold. But this is better if the company won't let you gauge it. I'd rather do this certainly with a company that's paying for it, and then if there's a tire problem later, I think that's your out and say, look, I just went through the Tire Pass. You guys paid for it, and so it's not me. It's Tire Pass. So I'm totally all about that. So when companies do things like that aren't right, and they're paying me for it, I'm like, if I tell them and they go, just still do it, I'm just do it. I go, all right, you paid me. I did the Tire Pass. You said a tire problem, so I did it. I think that's your way out of it. Discovered several drivers using alternative routes for miles. Decamp. Well, I mean, do they make you take a route? See, that's interesting. Unless they say you must take this route, I don't think they're using an alternative route. I think they're just taking their own route. Especially if it's not hub miles, there'd be no point to take another route unless you're stopping off somewhere or something. But I guess on hub miles, you could either do the Ferris Bueller, right, where you're turning your miles up with a jack, or you take a different route. But I don't think drivers without hub routes are taking too many extra route miles. And if you have to go around Indy or whatever because you have a hazmat load, they need to pay it. At Dark, I started with BOC gases before it became the Linde Group. I remember that thing, that big plastic key you had to use in that dinosaur system, XATA. She had to key in to get in literally with a key. I don't remember that. We never had to do anything like that. We did go early on this kind of stuff, though. Late but joining Team Rewind. All right, Kelter Rooster Travels is here. Well, I appreciate it. Scott, it would be tough to get the Loves to do all these tire paddles. Most times it's broken. Oh, is it really? I've never used it. I've pulled in the lane to fuel, but I've never actually had them check my tires or anything. So how much does it cost anyways? If the company's paying for it or whatever. I'm going to guess it's $10 to have them check your tires, which seems like a lot to me. Maybe it's worth it if you're an owner-operator and have to buy the tires, or if the company's paying you to do it. Then it's certainly worth doing. Anything they pay for is absolutely worth doing. I'm Roger Benzie. All Korean Mafia power units have TPMS. Most chassis have auto pressure monitoring. It appears to be very reliable. Yeah, the newer trucks have the tire pressure monitoring. Another thing which I don't understand why it hasn't been on trucks. It's been on cars forever. 2008 was when that came out, when that was required on cars. So why trucks haven't had it? I don't know. I can go on the app and check the tire pressure right here. It'll send me a little signal. Why this stuff doesn't come on semis that are $200,000, I have no idea. But I did see new ones finally have tire pressure where you can look in the gauge thing and it shows you right there the pressure monitoring of each one. The trailer things with the air fill, yeah, good idea. Finally, though, right? Pre-tracking satellite technology. Oh, like Qualcomm? That was always a good unit. Reliable. The only place it didn't work is in the caves. Everywhere else it worked. George Wilson, part of my pre-trip back in the day was when I was running spectacles, Tesla, less wallet watches, and now we moving out. What the heck? These voice text things? Boy, that one just didn't catch you right now. And the Tesla less wallet, maybe he's driving a Tesla, and it didn't catch on good. It's $10 for the company, but $5 if the driver pays. I wonder why that is. So if they charge it to a company, they charge more for it? That's pretty good. But look, if they're paying it and they're paying you to do it, yeah, I guess get them checked. You're already in there getting fuel anyways, getting Love's points. And you got to go in and get your gallon of, of Mountain Dew, like all the other drivers, right? So that takes a while for that thing because you're in there getting so much soda, they got to change the bag. They go, hang on, we got to go get another bag of syrup from the back. And you go, oh, I have plenty of syrup out here in the trailer. Because ironically, the stuff you get is going to the syrup anyways. Eventually. Do you have an Arion T, ELD, AIRION, Arion? I don't know if anybody's running that, but it was just declared non-compliant by the FMCSA in case you were using one. On August 24th, you will no longer have a working ELD, meaning if you're using that ELD after August 24th, you'll be considered to not be using an ELD and you'll be put out of service for having no ELD on board your truck. So check your ELD. If it's that kind, you've got a problem. Call your company, and if you bought it for yourself, you need to get it fixed. Dark, I remember we used to cheat with it to get to where we needed to go by running out of hours by hopping the computer. Oh, yeah, the early ones, you could do all that stuff. Now they're way better, right? But the early ones, always a way to cheat them. It's pronounced Zeta, right, Dark? Okay, Zeta. It sounds fancy. Got to get those soda points. I just finished my 64-ounce coffee. Wow. And what if you're on unlimited, right? Then you can fill that thing up to 64-ounce. That's a half a gallon. All right. Otherwise, in metric, that is 4 metric tons. Okay, that's how that translates. And that's a lot of coffee, by the way. You know how many donkeys worth of coffee beans they have to get that kind of coffee? A lot. 4. Spectacles, testicles, a wallet, and a watch. All those things you can get taken care of at the manhole, by the way. With the spot rates down. Okay, right. You may get a fuel tax holiday, too. So keep this in mind. It's been proposed. This would be on gas and diesel. So this would help owner-operators, presumably. If they get a fuel tax holiday coming up, they're working on it. So it actually might happen. It's dubious, but it might happen. 50-50 on whether it goes on. Indiana fuel tax is ready to go up on July 1st as well. We're 64 cents a gallon here. That's on gasoline. So, but the diesel tax is 18.4 cents. I think I wrote that down per gallon. So it would go down that much if you get a federal fuel tax holiday nationwide. And they actually didn't know if they were going to do it like right at the pump or if they'd let you rebate it on the taxes at the end of the year. And I'm like, oh, that's great. That's what we need is another line item on there for people buying fuel to get a rebate on it on their taxes. How complicated would that be? But that's what they talked about. Either way, it's possible to do it either way. Now this driverless pod truck, I don't know if you saw a picture of it. You should go check it out. Tennessee, in the Memphis area, where GE is, where they bring good things to life, there's actually a truck that they're going to start using this year on the road. That is driverless. And it's not only driverless, it doesn't have a cab. There's no steering wheel, nothing. Someone drives the truck remotely at the moment. It will ultimately be autonomous. They're going to drive this from an office building somewhere else. And the person will drive it from a screen. They have a steering wheel and all the controls. And they'll be driving the truck remotely. What do you think about that? And I don't know if there's a limit or if you have to log that. I don't exactly know how that works. The company I work for has a Trimble dual ELD and about 14 cameras. 14 cameras? Yikes. What are you hauling around? Missiles? I lost a watch in the manhole. It's just go and listen for the ticking. Keeping Juan Valdez knee deep in donkey crap. Exactly. You know how many beans this guy's got to go pick? One, and you've seen the commercials. He picks them one bean at a time to make sure that they're just right. Joe, I was disgusted hearing your podcast on the revenue of for-hire carriers, and some of them broker loads out and act like the world ending when I ask for $500 more to run the load. Exactly. They think, oh my gosh, what is this guy thinking about it? Right. Truck driving can give you type 1, 2, and type 3 if there was one. Exactly. Wouldn't have to sit around all day and 64 ounces of coffee. That's 4 metric tons of coffee. Years ago, my dispatcher was telling me to start my log when I crossed over to Indiana. What would they want me to do these days? Yeah, I love dispatchers doing that, you know. Hey, you don't have to start your log here. That should be the first thing everybody does. As soon as you get to work and are starting work, that you do that before you do anything. The log starts. But, you know, starting the log somewhere else, that's another pay thing, right? That's another pay thing. People start their log because they're getting paid by the mile. If you got paid by the hour, the first thing you would do is sign into your log so you can get paid. You wouldn't be like, oh, well, I'll drive to Indiana and then start my log. So I think that has always been a pay problem. If you got paid properly, you'd start your log immediately. GP Transco's here. Goodness. Stopping by to say hi before running back to a meeting. Hope everyone is having a great day. All right. GP Transco, thank you for being here. Meetings galore. Nothing people like more also than meetings. Working in an office. So thanks for coming in. 500 drivers. Congratulations. Getting to be a big place there. Pretty soon you won't even talk to us. So you'll be too big for us. They'll move on to bigger and better things. Dark 688. I have to get back to my kids. All right. Well, great live stream today. I'm glad I could make it. God bless everyone and have a safe and fun 4th of July. Well, thank you for being here. Take care of your son. I hope he gets into that private school and keep spreading the word. Believe me, somebody will listen. We will see you on a future show. Roger Penske Trucking Companies and Big Box are both trying to eliminate employees for the same reasons. Yes, absolutely. On this truck, although there'll be someone driving it, for now, this truck is the first step in that kind of thing. But they're going to be a regular thing between a couple of GM plants. It'll just be a regular thing, and eventually the truck will learn how to do it themselves. Yep. Juan Valdez is working overtime. And probably wherever he is in Venezuela or whatever, he's not going to get paid overtime. One bean at a time, and you're going to drink all that coffee? Think of the donkey. Truck of Freedom, I'm interested in knowing more about the Bluetooth scales. Yeah, there's a link in the description of today's show, and the Blue Ink technology is in there, and they have weight scales, and you can. I asked the guy, you know, how easy is it to put them together? All you need is a razor to cut your airline a couple times. It's got the clips and connectors. Check them out. They don't pay me anything for this, so I just think it's a good idea. We're checking them out and send them an email and asking them about it and how it works. I think it's a great idea. You used to have high BP and like with drinking coffee. Then you can't stay awake without a radio, right? GP Treads, we will never be too big for trucking answers. Well, I appreciate that. I thought you'd just leave us behind because you're getting to be so big of a place. 500 drivers, though. That's a big place. That is a big place. We'd love to do a truck TV giveaway today for Independence Day, if that's okay with you. So sooner rather than later, if possible. Well, I think people would probably be okay with that. So, yeah, I can start that right now. Of course, I always say 13. And so the rules are in the description. I also have to say for YouTube, this is not sponsored by YouTube or anything like that. And I appreciate this very much. And so do the drivers, certainly. And there's no purchase necessary. So I'm going to set the timer, which I have right here. And then when that timer goes off, which I can't see it, so we're going to set it over here. Let's see if you can hear it clicking. Okay. When that goes off, we'll take the 13th person in the chat. I will count back 13 on my screen. And that person can then put their zip code in the description on the chat. And we'll get your email, and a GP Transco will get you a TV set for Independence Day. And we really appreciate that here on Trucking Answers. So, here, Gunner Bob. Goodness, thank you very much. Mark, sold the truck 6 weeks ago. All right, now driving lead dumps and quads. Hourly pay, home nightly and weekends. Stop is 7 miles from home. That's a nice commute. Very happy. Thanks for everything for the last 2 years. Well, thank you very much. I hope that works out good. That short commute, that is great. Those long commutes are just killers, right? Especially now with gas. So, all right. That's awesome. Celtic Rooster Travels. Who wants to invest in owning a percentage of an autonomous truck. We could sit at home while the money rolls in. Yeah, except you got to drive it sometimes. Trucking in reverse. No driver, how do you exchange insurance when they are even more distracted in an office or remotely run the truck? Well, what they said is there'll be a box on the outside of the truck that police can access. We'll have insurance information and stuff like that. Yep. Remote-driven trucks can't wait for the first brake check crash. It will react faster than a regular driver does. 10 tractors and 10 trailers. Often the Speedco guys hate doing the tire pass. Oh. How does that autonomous truck in Memphis, Tennessee? Well, it's being driven remotely at the moment. It has cameras all around it, no cab, and somebody sits in a computer and drives it. What could go wrong with that? I mean, there's never glitches on the internet or anything. Yeah. Roger Penske, GP, find me $75,000 home every day in Phoenix. I don't know if GP Transco can get you home every day in Phoenix. Paladin is here. Hello. We look forward to your email with the name and address of the winner. All right. Well, thank you very much. I will get it to you as soon as I get it. How about a teal truck giveaway? Then I could see one. Chili cheese dogs are the best. Yeah, depending on the time of day. You don't want to have that at 10 p.m., right? How does the autonomous truck out of Memphis, Tennessee refuel itself? Well, it will just pull up and somebody will fuel it. They'll have somebody probably show up at the fuel island and fill it up. That's how I think it would work. It'll probably send a message that I'm going to go fuel, or the guy will drive it over there remotely, and they'll just have somebody fill it up. Remember, the guy filling it up doesn't have to make that much money. Let's see. It would be nice, wouldn't it? It would. Wow, let's see. Where did I go? Oh, this room is cooking. Oh, yes, it does brighten the room up. Need a good trucking job here in Western Kentucky. I'm sure there's something around. I always say send people to Craigslist first. My dude from my bedroom, would they set me up with a chair and console and screen like Captain Kirk? That is exactly how the guy is sitting in what looks like a simulator, like you might see at a truck school or whatever. It's exactly what he's sitting in to drive the truck. Yeah, with screens and everything, because he looks out all around the truck. Exactly. John, I still got the TV in the box. Thank you kindly. All right. Well, that's pretty good. The manhole giveaway. Free tickets to the manhole for Independence Day. Celebrate your independence at the manhole. Trailers have papers in that round container. They do, but this truck is going to have a box sort of on the side, which I kind of think it'll be electronic, where they'll be able to open a door with their key, and it will electronically be able to show them whatever they need. You press a button, and it would show them insurance, registration, that kind of stuff, because you can do that with a car. You have electronic insurance and all that stuff. So, great podcast, especially if I'm waiting at receiving. Trucking Freedom. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, there should be a new one tomorrow, unabridged version. Hope that the driverless truck doesn't block or impede the middle or left lane. I'm sure it will only do the speed limit, though. That's how it would be set up. Now, currently it's being driven remotely. Ice cream in the winter is the best, too cold, man. Brain freeze me. Carded Studios. I've been training for years driving a truck with an Xbox controller with American Truck Simulator, so you're ready. Except this person has a regular steering wheel with pedals and everything. Keltrusu Travels. Hoping IT will make the autonomous truck viable in Tennessee and elsewhere. The insurance is going to be insanely high. You know, if you get one glitch in the internet for a few seconds, that's a real problem when the truck's being driven remotely. I don't know what it will do. I'm sure it probably takes over for itself. Deep Prince got a big truck of your own. That's good. Kelly, if you make the saw side to your backside, may not you like the next morning. Yikes. I scream, you scream, and we all scream for this ice cream. I thought that Holland Enterprises was a good company. Are they not? Are you saying you went there and they are not, or something like that? I mean, did something change with them? They were a good company, so are they still not a good? A Holland screen. Little America's Best. Oh, I've been out there so long. John, I hate to say bye, but I have to pay my village taxes. Do you have to get that little sticker too? I remember living in Lansing years ago. You had to get a Lansing Village sticker for your car, like $15 a year. Turns out no. All right, well, what's the problem there at Holland? Because, I mean, we used to know a recruiter there. He left and went somewhere else, but what's the problem with Holland now? Gracie for president in 2024. Do you want to be president, Gracie, wherever you are? That'd be the first non-human president, I guess is how the news would probably say it. She vows to sleep through everything. GP Transco, got to run. Have a great day, folks. All right, well, thank you for being here, stopping in. And back to important meetings. With that many drivers, there probably are a lot of meetings, to be honest with you. All right. Thank you very much for that. What they're going to do when it drives through a dead zone like Nebraska? Well, presumably by the time they do all that, it will take over. It will be fully autonomous, is their idea. Right now, because it's just in Memphis and a local thing between a couple of GE plants where they bring good things to life, I guess they figure they have a good enough signal where they can run the truck remotely. Wonder where all the old chicken trucks went. You never see them on the road no more. You're not at 568 today for fuel. You don't see too many of the, 500 horse cats and 18 speeds, 411 rears. You just don't see those. By GP Transco, thanks for the TV set. Stan D. Prince, I picked up my truck in Nebraska. How'd that go? Keltrucer Charles, driving a truck remotely would be great if it works. I still feel iffy. Oh, that's not great. I wonder, do they announce this to the public? Probably not. It'd be interesting to go tell everybody down there in the public what they think about it. Trump coming back to office? I don't know. I mean, at that age, really? I just cleaned the used swamp out of it, smelling good in the neighborhood. Yikes. Did you have to pick it up from somebody that, quit or something like that? I never understand that. You get in a truck and it stinks and there's a bunch of food. What are you doing? This is something you have to be in all day. So even locally, you're in it for the whole day, much less if you're living in the truck. What is happening in the truck? Why isn't it clean? Go look at somebody's car and that's probably how they'll keep their truck. That's what I think. Where's the beef? She died many years ago. Deep Print's new life. Yeah, it's like getting in a truck that smells good is like a new life. Just hang out. You can't just hang an air freshener and leave 4 weeks of garbage in it. Oh, how'd you put that up there? That's pretty good. Might be DeSantis. Maybe. Certainly, age-wise, that'd be better. There was just some woman who retired from driving a school bus, too, if you saw that. 88 years old. She said, yeah, I'm going to retire. And I thought, do people want an 88-year-old driving their kids around? That's my question. I think it's a legitimate question to ask. If you're 88, should you be driving a school bus? I don't know. It's worth asking. Because here, once you get your license, there's no more driving tests to go through in most states. So I don't know if that's worth, having her do it or not. She's retiring from driving a school bus after all these years. At 88 years old, I'm retiring. I asked a girl if she wants a nutty buddy, and now I'm in jail. Well, you can't do that at the meetings. When they have those meetings. Is the president a good ex? I don't know. At 79, right? I don't know. What is Trump, 78 or whatever, and the current president's 79? That's kind of... Is that kind of the limit? Because nobody would think this is a good idea for most other jobs, but then for that job, I just don't get it. Good CB, always go with Cobras, I say. Some people are partial, but I say Cobra. Get a nice Cobra in there where the buttons all light up and everything. It was nasty, but I got it all clean. It's taken you 2 days. That's gross. Somebody that was living in it like that, that is really gross. And these are the people that you can smell when they come in the truck stop. That doesn't give the rest of us a good name when you go in there and try to be a normal person and they come and stinking the place up. Someone needs to run that isn't considering their plot location and casket size and color. Yes, right. Just the age thing, I think, is enough to consider someone differently. Go for keeping the wheels rolling. Got to keep the wheels rolling on it. Here you go, Mark. If you're not a mechanic, so therefore you're not be held liable in the court of law if something happened to your truck. Well, there's that. Well, that's true, right? And so they're like, that scared the crap out of me. So that's true. So let me go to this here. 3. All right, there we're going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13 is right there. D Prince is my 13. All right, so D Prince is my 13. It's a weird way to say it, isn't it? That's how you say it at the manhole, too. So, yikes, that buzzer. If you'll put your area code, put your zip code in the comments here so that I know it, and then email me your address so we can get you your TV compliments of GP Transco for Independence Day. So that's pretty awesome at GP Transco. They've given away a lot of stuff here, by the way. So, and I really like the place. I went up there, and they don't pay me anything. For people have asked me that, Mark, what do they pay you? They don't pay me anything. Okay, I like the place. And so there you go. And everybody that's gone there likes the place too. Give them a call if you're looking for a good place to go where you'll be respected. And that is true. Without being paid. Age is variable. It depends on the individual. All right, so the woman at 88 driving a school bus, what do you think? I don't know. CFI said it's going to cost $1 billion to convert to electric trucks. Oh, look. The EPA just came out, which I was going to talk about on the podcast too, and said, look, at night, turn your air to 82 degrees to save electricity. All right, if I have to turn my air to 82 degrees, how are we going to have all these electric cars running around? I'm not living at 82 degrees at night. By the way, nobody does that. That's way hot. It's on 73 right now in here. Comment period for the FMCSA speed limiter rule is still open, really? Oh, they did extend it, right. Has everyone made an intelligent comment? Only one voice we have on this. Please use it. Yeah, but will they listen to anybody? I do think people should go comment, though. I'm with you. Current president, no one is home upstairs. He did just take that fall on the bicycle. A guy's trying to sell me a President CB. Oh, I've heard of President CBs. These are all these weird name brand ones, you know. Look, if it works and it's cheap enough, yeah. But I get Cobra CBs. They last forever. Dirty Joe driver covered in dog hair, washing their hair in the sink. Gross. Gross. Oh, there it is. We only have 2445P. That's a weird zip code. We'll wait for that last digit. But take a shower. Yeah, look, I'm willing to get... If you see me somewhere and you need a shower, I'll give you a shower. But if you don't have enough points for a shower regularly, you need to get it at another company. 60 gallons is not that much. The 13th Ghost is the best movie. Nice. Striker, good CB, great power. They're all 4 watts from the factory because that's all they're allowed to be by law. So they're all 4 watts. That's the maximum on 11 meters, right, for CB. So, D Prince, thanks, GP Transco. And be sure to email me your address because without that, I can't mail it to you. So, Roger Penske, if you can make fools, liars, and psychos heads twirl and explode, the age is irrelevant. Oh, that's true, right. All you have to do is convince people everything is okay, and then people believe everything's okay. They always, oh, don't worry about inflation. It's no big problem, right? Have anybody gone to the store lately, the White House? Probably not. 88-year-old driver still has to pass insurance requirements. Those are minimal. They would have to pass the same physical as everybody else. And I'm just saying, it's worth throwing it out there that 88 is pretty high up there to drive a school bus around. I don't know if they should drive a car around. Maybe. Hit the like button. There's only 37 and 65 in the room. I appreciate that, Deep Rit. Not just for the TV, too. But, and they will mail that to you. GP Transco is very good about that. For Independence Day, major Independence Day thing. So we appreciate that from an up-and-coming company that is headed to be the largest company in the country someday. Maybe. They melt used condoms down to make tires, and that's why they're called Goodyear. Ha! That's interesting. Used. That's even better. Like Belushi got at the end of Blues Brothers, right? When he picked all of his stuff up from jail. Everybody remember that? She condom, 43 cents, one used condom. Great. Great movie. Nothing better than that. So let's see. Where do we go to here? All right. So GP Transco, of course, if you wear it, make it a parrot. Now, if your company doesn't even let you make phone calls, I don't know what to say. That might be a place to turn down, too. I can't use a phone. I can't have the CB. I can't bring my ham radio, presumably. I can't listen to the radio. Oh, we can't get drivers? I don't know what the problem is. GP Transco's here. They will let you use a headset, as far as I know. So you can use that blue parrot there, GP Transco, and they were here today, and they've given away another television set. They've given away many of them here on the channel, and I appreciate it. So and don't forget about Jay also at Auto Transport Intel. I don't know anything about hauling cars, but Jay does. Jay knows about cars. Not me, though. Never hauled them, even though I lived like 5 miles from an auto plant. Never hauled cars around. Maybe I should have. As soon as the trucks are governed and slowed down, then all the cars will slow down. The only way they should govern the trucks is if they govern everybody. If it's so unsafe, let's govern all the cars and see how far that gets everybody. That's the other thing you can ask the people at work. Oh, well, we have to turn the truck down. Oh, well, then you should turn your car down if it's unsafe. Oh, well, it's different. Is it? 88 is the new 35. I'll remember that in 50-something years when I get there, just being my extreme upper 30s. This is the new 35. So... yeah, in the 2072 version of this show, when we're still doing it, I will keep that in mind. So, but we have to head on out as we go at the end of the day as normal. So I want to thank everybody for being here. George Wilson, of course, was here, which I appreciate. Dreamer Seat was here. Nice. Flat Highway, thank you for being here. Even though you don't live in town, which I thought you lived in town. We'll still call you a Lafayette or D. Prids was here today. John M., thank you for being here. Creature 937 was here. We had how did I write this down there? Oh yeah, Random Poochie. Handsome Poochie, right. And Million Miler was first the other day. And then today, George H.W. Bush was first today, followed closely by Trucker Hershey. So that was a close one. A Mud Dog was here. Mr. Beener, thanks for being back here today. Omar was here today. Joan Harper was here today. Thank you for being here. Truckin' Freedom was here. Good to see you today on Tuesday. With Both Feet was here. New Life was here. Joe was here. We had some new names here today. So let's see what we're doing. Stan Dodge was here. Keltarusu Travels was here. Dark 688 was here. Thank you for being here today, everybody. Salted Murray was here. And let's see, Cartage Studios. And as we go up here, I have to get on out of here and head out to see what's going on. Paladin was here today. Air Gunner Bob, thank you for being here. And we are going to head and see what is happening in the big world before we get into much more trouble than normal. So there's this thing here. There'll be more videos, and should be a podcast tomorrow. Check that out. Videos and your suggestions for why we don't live on Mars. Be safe and everything, and we'll be doing more live shows, so keep watching for it. So